Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. The fish are here. We have one little fish in the back that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And he dug a hole. Have you seen the one that digs holes?
Oh, yeah, in the
we
gravel.
call him Tom Van.
Yeah. Thank you. He's putting in a full irrigation system
Yep.
in our tank, and he's back there. He's just
His little fins are falling apart.
He's chopping the roots, and he's got his little earbuds in. He's listening to his favorite podcast, and then another little fish comes over and yells at him good.
Oh, man, my hands. They woke up this on fire.
Now, how long after digging? We have some guests on the line. We're going to get
This
to them
was from
momentarily.
buffing my boat. My neighbor gave me a
Oh,
buffer,
God.
and it just shook my carpal tunnel to the point of hands on fire every single night. And then I'm like, why did I do that? I should have said, like, no, this thing shakes too much. It hurts my hands.
Yeah, my hands already hurt.
I just stood there for an hour buffing it, shaking my hands.
Speaking of vibrations.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Tom and Dan vibes. Look at
Yeah.
you. You're wearing the shirt.
I got my Tom and Dan Vibes shirt on, and considering that vibes are these people's business, it can be, on the line with us are our good friends Debbie and Deborah from Fairvilla Megastore. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Good to talk to you guys.
Same here. Thanks for having us.
No problem. So Debbie does the education programs for Fairvilla University.
Yeah, we talked about that in our last ad. We kind of went on this idea that, you know, self-care is super important right now, especially with everybody trying to stay healthy. And a lot of times you forget about sleep, and you forget about the bedroom, and you forget about even the non-sleeping part of the bedroom, which is sexual wellness. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of education with Fairvilla University.
Yeah, and it's online too, which makes it great and easy for everybody to jump on there. So, Debbie, what are some classes that are coming up at Fairvilla U?
Well, we actually, in a few days, are actually having a brand new class. We're super excited about it because, as you said, we moved everything online, which we hadn't been doing until, you know, COVID hit. And now it is a good thing because we were wanting to do this and we just didn't know what to do, and now everything's online for anyone. We actually had our first international customer come to a class recently, which is really cool. But our next class,
I would like to find out about my penis.
Is it French?
Well, it was Canadian, but maybe it was a French Canadian.
Was it
I don't know.
Canadian Josh?
Canadian Josh.
Oh, it was Canadian Josh. Yeah.
I like it in the body.
But our next class is actually super exciting because it's a brand new one. We're doing a whole back to school thing right now because everybody's going back to school.
I get it. Back to school. I get it.
Back to school. It is anal August, so that is appropriate.
No.
But But the next class is actually with our newest educator to join the team, Amber, and it's called Talk Nerdy to Me, which is going to be living your best role play life in the bedroom. So Amber is a self-described nerd, and she loves just nerd culture, and this class is going to be heavy on that.
Awesome.
So there's going to be a lot of D&D talk, there's going to be anime, there's going to be tentacles, there's going to be all that fun stuff.
Oh, man, come for the anime and stay for the tentacles.
Okay, so Debbie,
I love it when Debbie comes on to tell us all the different classes. Talk nerdy to me? Come on, man. That's fun.
Talk nerdy to me.
I'm in. I like it.
so
It's fun.
I imagine that there are a lot of Tom Vans out there that get awkward easily. Even with someone that they've been with their entire life, that they accidentally say or call their mom instead of their wife, which is real weird. And it means that she just developed a caretaker role because you're becoming an old man, the senile old man. Anyway,
Mother, get in here.
So even though I've been with my wife for, I've noticed since I was 16. So I mean, it's like so long, like it's unbelievable.
It's long enough.
24 years?
It's long enough for you to start
20?
over. My God, man, start it fresh.
I still will get awkward if I try to do any role play because I couldn't. Like, I'd start laughing, or I just couldn't even...
oh, my God. Just last night, I was popping off my fedora, putting it on the coat rack, and I said, she walked into my office. She had the best pair of getaway sticks I'd ever seen. I knew just by looking at the scandalous dress she was wearing that pretty soon I might be eating the muff, if you know what I mean. because I'm a gumshoe. I'm a hot city detective, and I get all the pee.
So
That's what I was doing last night.
My
I mean, you
husband
do
does
that
that
laughing
character.
now. I mean,
Yeah.
no, come on.
See, they like it.
So, do you have anything that, like, because people hear role play, you think
can't
of that.
even say the
I know.
word.
Sorry. You think that you're going into an extravagant, like, play where you're a whole different person and
Yeah.
she's a different.
It can be very subtle.
You could start off simple, right? Like, is there something like a simple way to get into it for people like me who get awkward?
totally, absolutely. I would say probably the best thing to do is if you have some kind of fantasy you've seen in a movie or in a TV show or something, maybe like a crush that you have and you kind of want to explore this in a safe and consensual way, you can just kind of act it out. I find it's really a lot easier when you're doing someone else's words or just trying to do something you're really familiar with instead of doing something that's really elaborate. And there's, you know, you could even kind of be yourself, but maybe just act out the scene. Maybe a scene you've seen in a movie that just looks really hot.
Well, bust some myths for.
I'm outside digging holes, and then you come up behind me and you say, "Hey, Tom, I need some help with my pipes." How's that? This really does make you awkward, doesn't it?
What if she? Okay, back when I used to watch MythBusters a lot.
Oh yeah. She's making
Carrie Byron.
She's making the jelly mold.
She did a. I believe it was FHM.
It may have been FHM. It was one of those magazines like Maxim, FHM.
Yeah. It was
stuff.
that. It was that like
one of those completely misogynistic magazines that
can't exist
yeah,
anymore.
we all know what they are.
But she did like a whole photo shoot
where she's
in
wearing
Mad
like,
scientist.
yeah, where
yeah,
she
yeah.
has like the safety goggles on her head.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
wearing overalls but no top.
It's like a sexy,
like a doctor coat.
Yeah, but a
Red
short,
bra.
no pants.
Yeah.
And
Short lab
There you
coat.
go.
Yeah.
Buy her a lab coat and a red bra and panties.
And
You don't want to get any sulfuric acid on your labia. That'd be horrifying.
and then I'll be the walrus-looking guy. I mean, is Jamie
Walrus.
No, Jamie. What was the guy?
Jamie Heineman?
Is that what's the other
Adam
name?
Savage.
You should
Yeah,
sit Don Vito.
And then it just so. Are you supposed to do this in your room, in your house?
No, in the living room.
Yeah, you're
With your
supposed to go
kids
down in
playing
front of City
games.
Hall and wake up the mayor, Tom. What the hell are you talking
Well,
about?
I saw Modern Family one time, and the whole thing was like you meet at a bar.
Oh, you can do that. That's fun.
Okay, like, that's what I mean. Like, are you supposed to go, like, actually start at a different place and pretend like you're strangers
can.
and go back, or are you supposed to like just
It's whatever you're into, man.
and
Yeah,
scene in
there are
the?
no rules. There are no
Just
rules.
right.
There are absolutely no rules. You do what works best for you. I mean, that's a great idea, though, because if you do that, then, you know, it really does take you outside of your, like, normal life. You're not in your apartment just trying to, like, put on an accent or feel like, you know, completely silly. If you're at a restaurant and you're just kind of, like, having conversation but kind of pretending like you don't know each other, it might really help kind of build that feeling that you're really doing this. You know,
I
like
do
that
it
it's
with
for
Andrea
real.
all the time, man.
Yeah,
I'll
me and Trav do it too.
I'll walk in. Yeah, this
No,
is
you
yes,
don't.
I do.
Are you serious?
I'll walk in. I'll be like, I'm just here to check the cable. Just your friendly Australian cable, man.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
See
will.
what's going on down under.
Yeah,
No, come on.
I'll go
No.
there. Hey,
No, and then what does she do? She's
boy,
like,
I like your bush.
no, I don't believe that you actually
Yes.
do that.
Call my wife and ask her right now.
But do you do it as a joke, or do like
Well,
he's
I mean,
actually
it's
a serious?
flirty. It's playful.
Blurred
it's,
lines.
It's fun and flirty, man. Come on.
Hold on, what do you
This
do,
is fun.
Samantha?
This is a fun, flirty summer for me, buddy.
You have a role play scenario?
We kind of do like the Modern Family thing where we pretend like we don't know each other and we meet each other at a bar,
Yeah.
at a restaurant or something. And then we take one of each other's home to our house,
Yeah.
and our husband or wife is not home, and we're cheating on each other.
No, you're cheating.
Yeah, last night I pushed Andrea up against the washing machine and I said, "When's your husband come home?"
It's a full load.
Yeah. Wow, Sam's really good at this.
Now, do I start complaining
No, no,
to
no.
Chris about my whole bitch wife?
No, that's too far.
She's gonna find out. She calls me. She
You're
tracks my phone. She's crazy.
Oh God, you feel so much better than my big fat wife. And scene.
So,
That's not gonna work, man.
That might not be the best way to go about it.
Hold on,
hey, I mean,
hold on. My wife would be mad if I enjoyed cheating on her
Well,
with
don't
her
then
too
don't
much.
do the cheating scenario.
Yeah,
Should I
Do
act
something
guilty?
else.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I
Just
can
that I
do
love my wife too much. I can't.
Yeah, you could do that. Maybe it turns her on if you deny. If you're like, I can't go through with it. I just love
You're
my
just
wife
not
too
as
much.
pretty as my wife.
Then you got to go. Wait,
No.
Then you
She'll get mad if I almost cheated on her.
No, but then you gotta go. Then you gotta go. Can you pretend to be my wife? And then she'll go.
What
Yes,
if
I
she
can
pretends
pretend.
to be you and you pretend to be her?
Oh,
Well, then that's
Different
gonna-
type of role
she's gonna
play.
be like, she's gonna be like, my genitals stink. My butt's
Oh,
weird. Like,
no, yeah.
and then it's gonna be a fight.
Well, then you're not cheating.
Um,
You throw a wig on Tom.
I still think my idea of you going to cheat and then you convince her in a second layer of improv to now pretend to be your wife. So then you're doing a more exciting version of your wife. See where I'm going there?
That's not a bad idea. I mean, why not? You know?
Yeah, it's like an
You could definitely do
inception.
that.
It's inception cheating. It's like
Yeah.
you're making love to your wife, but you want her to pretend to be somebody else. But in the scenario, you're too chicken to cheat on your wife, so she's gonna have to pretend to be your wife to make love to her.
Yeah.
And boom, and then
Oh,
everybody's happy.
What?
Yeah, everybody would be happy for sure.
well, I'm not happy.
You're never happy.
You're like, well,
I wanted the fantasy. Like, I wanted the whole thing where them.
Wanted to cheat?
Well, I don't really want to, but in this scenario, you get to get a taste of it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
but and
like
not
a
do it.
fantasy.
It's like my
Fantasy,
flight
yeah.
simulator.
But
I don't really want to fly a plane.
Yeah.
But it is fun to sit down in front of MS Flight and fly into I flew into the Bermuda Triangle last night.
I'm afraid to even bring that fantasy up because she's like, "What? You fantasize about cheating on me?" Like,
Why don't you take her to this class with you?
Let's look at your browser history. Cheating, how to cheat. Best place to cheat.
my wife.
and let her pick the role play then.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, but that's like letting her pick where we want to eat dinner.
Oh,
and then it
God,
turns into a-
vegetarian. Oh, vegetarian. Oh, my God. Plant-based sausage balls. Here I come.
Yeah, like, you know what she would, I'm not joking. You know what she would say? Like, I want you to appreciate me and say nice things. And then I'm like, oh, God
That's the
damn it.
fantasy?
Yeah, like,
That's the
sad.
worst of fantasy.
That's
Unless you're standing
I know.
over another human going, oh, then there's no fantasy involved.
I know, that's what she's like, I want you to do nice things for me and appreciate me. And like,
I want you
and
to
sit
bring
next to
me
me.
flowers. I want you to hug me. I want you to hold my hand. Oh, my God.
I
your
know
hand.
that's what you want. I can't do
I
it.
can't hold your hand. I can only do, like, true animal acts.
Why is your fantasy the one thing I can't do? Like, why? Like,
That's
I
a
think
good
there's
lyric.
more than one thing
I
you
know
can't do.
I can walk in and be like, the yard guy, and then, get it. Like real hard, or harder than normal.
So you want to get a yard guy style? Do you guys
Well,
think
they're
that
tougher.
Do you guys think that Tom has the elbow grease and the know-how to walk in tonight and role play with his wife and give it to her yard guy style? He wants to do it
I
yard.
think he needs to go to the class.
I think so too.
I know
Yeah, I
some.
think you might need to take this class.
Yeah. Now you
I
realize
know
every time
some
you guys
yard
call
guys.
in, you give us great advice and you have great classes, and he'll never do it. You know that, right? He'll never do it.
Oh, we'll get him there. We'll
I
get
know
him there.
you will. We'll wear him down eventually, but it would. I think it would help you, man.
Listen, I want all this stuff. Like,
When is the last? Let me start with a simple one that has nothing to do with like fantasy or role play or anything. When is the last time? Because this is something that I've done where you just like lean into your wife's ear and you be like, "I'm so horny for you."
I
don't think he's ever said that,
I
ever.
don't do that.
Yeah. Or you look, or if you just say something, not even that aggressive. What if you just said, "I did this one yesterday." I go, "You're so hot. You're just so hot."
Yeah. Well, that's what she tells me to do. She's like, if you did that,
It
would-
works, dude.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah. And that's what she says. I can't
I'll just
remember.
motor running.
Write it on your goddamn hand, Tom.
Get a
Oh my
tattoo.
God.
Get a tattoo.
Yeah, but I'm not. But you're doing it at the right
Leave
time.
leave little notes in your trenches and on your plants that say, "Go say something nice to your wife."
But
That's good.
the problem is
She hates your plant. She'll never even look there.
That's true.
normal people are doing it at the appropriate right time.
What are you going
when
to do?
it
Right when
feels
the
it.
waitress at Outback walks over and you lead in?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, I am so awkward that I do it at an inappropriate time, and that I can only remember to do it when I'm want to do it, and then
I
and then
understand.
she's like, you're
just horny, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you should
you're-
do it at a different
Yeah,
time.
you-
You should do it when
Yeah.
she least expect it, and you can't
Yeah,
do that because you don't even know when to expect it.
Well, I just don't think about those things because I'm, a crazy person.
We both are handicapped.
You have to plan. You got to start making it part of your day. Or part of your week.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, there's so many different things you can do. I mean, you could even go get a little bedroom costume and put a little note on it and slip it in her drawer.
There you go.
Hey, tonight's let's have some fun.
Ooh.
I mean, there's just a bunch of different things that you could like plan. It's like date night, but you're going to spice it up a little bit. You're going to turn it up a little bit.
My wife walks in there and she looks on the bed. What does she see? She sees a purple fedora, aviator sunglasses. I'm like, I want you to dress like Kid Rock tonight, baby. I want you to dress like Kid Rock, but not but right before he went full country alt-right Kid Rock. I want the rap
Yeah, you want ball with the ball.
I want ball with the ball. Yeah, I want ball with the ball, rappy Kid Rock.
Yeah.
When black people still liked him, that's what I want.
You had that little person, MC.
Yeah, back when he had
Josie.
Josie, rest in peace.
Yeah. The problem is, I think for myself, is like, you know how they try to program a robot to have emotions, and then
Elon's doing that.
And then the robot's like, "Ouch, you hurt my feelings." And you're like, "No, I didn't, robot. You just said that."
Programmed to say that.
Like, I know, it didn't hurt your feelings.
It's kind of like how
you just said that.
It's kind of like how your greetings in the morning have gotten longer because I made fun of him for just saying "yo" in the mornings, and now he'll be like, "Hi, what's up, guys?" And I'm like, "Don't say that. You're reading that.
Yeah, that's what my wife says.
Yeah, you're reading
what
that
I'm
off
trying
a
to
cue
say.
card.
You look so sexy. like you're reading it off a cue card. Anyway,
what it sounds like, there's a lot of role play happening. It's just not sexual yet. So we need to work on just getting it to be sexy.
Hey, just pull your D out.
He only role plays with Dan.
I know.
Yeah.
And I never get any action either. It's like this guy we role play and then he leaves, and I'm like, that didn't work.
Tease.
Yeah, he's such a tease.
So I guess. Besides from role play, is there something before role play that you could do?
You mean like junior role play? You want like, is this like a MasterChef Junior scenario where you want like a little bit of an easier homework assignment?
Because the whole role play, even like pretending to be another person makes me like, or even like pretending to meet my wife out and then like.
I got an idea.
I can't
Guys,
do it.
tell me if you think this would be an adequate, like maybe some advice for Tom. Since you're having trouble stepping into somebody else's shoes, why don't you just take a time period in your own life when you were still dating your wife that means a lot to you and almost like,
recreate it? Yeah.
You know,
That's a great idea.
I'm really good at
Absolutely.
this effing stuff, guys. The ladies love me. I really am good at this stuff.
So
A+.
I love it. That's why Fairvilla is so great. You just go there. I know what I'm doing when I go there. You don't know what you're doing when you go there.
The first time I met my wife, really, we were at a party, like a house party in Miami, and we were sitting in the back of my truck, and like everybody in Miami parks in the front yard, for whatever.
And
like
you have a truck,
like
dude. Take her out, park under the stars, put a blanket back there, get a bottle of wine that she likes, get some snacks and some stuff that she likes, and just lay under the stars. Already have it where you have a Bluetooth boombox in the back where you can have her music, little Avett Brothers, lay back there under the stars and have a good Florida country outing, and then take her in your arms under the moonlight, and then you know the rest.
Nah,
do it.
In the back of my truck?
Yeah, and then give it to her yard guy style.
Where do you go park? Like, it's not
give
like
her the weed whacker.
We don't have like an overlook or like a bluff or something. You know what I'm saying? You know where you park and then you see the city? We don't have that.
Just go to the East Colonial Walmart.
Like, where do you park that's romantic?
I don't know. Like, what do I got to think of everything?
Well, you said go park in a
I
romantic.
bet your listeners know where to park.
Yeah, they do. They're horny animals. They know where to go.
They don't know that, but no one parks in a romantic.
You used to be able to go at like Sanford Airport. There's a field you could drive out there.
Nah, you can't go there anymore.
No, it's all locked. 9/11 changed everything. Everything's under lockdown.
Yeah. And I feel like nowadays, like
you know what?
suspicious
You're right.
car.
It's not worth it.
Well, I'm just saying, like a
kidding.
suspicious car parked by the airport. And I can't.
You're back there, yard guy style, into the cops roll up, draw down on you.
Well, and then what? Do I go? We go into the cab, the car seats. I gotta take the car seats.
You don't go
out.
in the cab. You lay in the bag.
In the back?
Yeah. Where's the excitement of going in the cab? You lay in the back.
There are leaves and sticks.
Where you
Clean it out, man.
Wash your car.
Jesus.
Prepare.
You can't just be out in the open. Like, well,
Do it all the time.
in the open?
Yeah.
I used to
Where?
at our old house around the chimney. She used to put her hands on that thing when there's no fire in it. That yard guy had a little
You
bit.
know that my neighbor works out in the.
He wants to join.
Well, tell
she
him to go
wants
ahead.
She wants to roleplay with him.
Now my sons are screaming at the neighbor when he's working out. My mom thinks you're cute.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. And then I had to tell him,
That's
like,
hilarious.
Don't say that. I'll go get my spoon. I'm sorry, guys. Oh man. All right.
I
Well,
don't think young guys are into the spoon. They don't even know
But for real though, like all joking aside though, that's not a bad idea to role play your own fantasy things that you've replayed in your own head a bunch of times. That's a great way to
hold on.
You don't have to be another person.
I could jump my fence and go work out in the backyard to pretend to be the neighbor, right? And then
You're gonna
she's
get shot.
okay.
No.
Yeah,
He
and she's
doesn't seem
peeking
like
over.
the gun type.
And she's peeking over.
Yeah. She's looking. And
Okay, there we
she's
go.
like, I'm
Hey.
working out, and then I jump the fence and give it to a yard guy
Yeah, but then
in my
But
yard.
then
Yeah, do
you're
it.
belittling. Then you're belittling yourself because you're like, your stupid husband isn't here, is he? That idiot. I see him outside working on his boat trailer. He doesn't know anything about boat trailers, and neither do the trailer companies. And then you're running yourself down. It does nothing for your confidence. Then you're turning your wife off because
That's
she
fine
knows
because
it's
he
just
still
a
gets
fantasy.
it, so it's fine.
How would I explain that to my neighbor if I'm out there working out?
Like, just go with it, bro.
Well, he's just going to see you jumping your fence back
Exactly.
in. So just tell him, that's a dodgeball, whatever the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. All right. So when's that class?
It is going to be on the 26th on Thursday. We have our classes on Thursdays right now, so the class will be on that Thursday, and it's going to be at 8 p.m. It's on Zoom. The cool thing about Zoom is that we actually, if you go on Zoom before the class, if you have a little time, you can change your photo and your name, so it can be completely anonymous, which is
Alright.
really unique to, obviously, the in-person classes, which, you see everybody right and face-to-face. So the online classes are really unique and kind of special way to get in a class if you're normally too shy or you're afraid about your identity getting out because nobody will know who you are. Your cameras are off, your
That's
mics
awesome.
are off. So, yeah, so definitely if someone is shy about this kind of stuff, doesn't want to interact, you don't have to. The online classes are great for that. But it's, everybody deserves to learn something new no matter how old you are, and our classes teach a lot of stuff you're never going to learn in school,
There you
in your
go.
sex ed classes. So that's the only place you're really going to get real information because porn isn't real. So our classes are a great way to really learn the
Oh,
real
now,
stuff.
now you open
I
a
know, I'm
whole
trying to
different
break-
can of worms for Tom.
breaking hearts,
Yeah.
breaking hearts.
Yeah,
but
always.
yeah, though it's the only real pleasure-focused sex ed that you're going to get, where you can actually learn the real things and what's going to feel good, and it's a really good time. So I hope everybody comes by, and I hope you all decide to come.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's anonymous.
We'll get him in there eventually. We put the link in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Debbie, Deborah, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Give everybody at the store some love from us. Stay safe out there, and we can't wait to talk to you guys again very soon, okay?
Same here. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for having
guys.
us.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. They're so sweet.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, they always do such a great job, and they're always so fun to
I think
talk to.
those online classes it's better that they're doing the Fairvilla University
so,
like that,
yeah.
right? Like
It
it
is.
opens it up to way more people.
Yeah, and you can be anonymous.
And jump on there
which is
early,
nice.
yeah, and because you'll forget that your name on Zoom is like kind of always on there. You could even go in early, like to your own
Yeah,
account and
change
change
it.
it if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to, and that's what I would advise you to do. If you get a little nervous about stuff like that, but
Not that anybody cares, so you know what I'm saying?
But they
Yeah.
make it super. I mean, they make it so fun. I mean, you hear them; they're really fun people, and they make it easy for you guys. We got to take a break. We'll come back with more A Corporate Time right after this.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha's here. Butler's here. Fisher here. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Let's do some weird job.
Before we do Weird Job, I just would like to tell everybody the easiest way to find our live streams. Monday through Friday, we do a really cool live stream. Find it on Twitch. Just search Tom and Dan Live, and you can find all the replays on YouTube. Same name, Tom and Dan Live. Here we go. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Or maybe, just maybe, we should try this one.
He's going rogue.
I didn't do this.
Tom, it's Dan's favorite bit. You don't believe him and say it's bullshit, but you came up with a way to learn our jobs. It turns out we're all just big fat slobs. Tom Ovita over here, Ovita over there. Fish tank needs some care, doo-doo flies in the air. To be honest, who's porking is better, but weird job Wednesday is forever. Weird job Wednesday. Keeps on 2 weeks. Weird job Wednesday. He'll do your job. Weird job Wednesday. Overconfident. Weird job Wednesday. He was drunky. Weird. What do you make? What do you make? What do you make? What do job? Sam hates my song. Sam hates my song. Sam hates my song.
Not
Sam
true.
hates weird. Butlers chopping. Butlers chopping.
That's true.
Butlers chopping. Butlers job. Thank you, Tom Van. Thank you, Tom Van. Thank you, Tom Van.
I thought he said butt loose chopping.
Who did this?
Kenny.
Oh, Kenny.
I actually love that one, Kenny.
I think it's pretty damn good, right? I think that was Kenny. Wasn't that
It
Kenny?
kind of sounded like his voice, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Kenny.
If you want
It
to
might have
send
been
in,
the best one you've done, Kenny.
yeah. If you want to send in your weird job song, send it to
Yeah.
the show at TomandDave.com.
I started one this morning, couldn't finish it though. I got like knee deep into it, and I just like this is too much work. But I'm gonna start doing some more of the old novelty ones. Show at TomandDave.com.
StreamlineFlorida.com for your refis and mortgages. Andy's on line 2. How's it going, Andy?
Guys, thanks so much for having me back on the program. Third appearance, so third time's a charm, right?
You didn't have to say that, Andy.
Yeah, we'd have no idea. You ruined it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Well, to start-
what were you on the show before doing?
I did Weird Job Wednesday with you guys back in April of 2020. I was the clubhouse manager for the minor league baseball team. Michael Jordan was going to take me to Rosie O'Grady's when I was like 14 years old.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
That was a great one.
All right.
So,
And then, I'm sorry, I was going to say, then I came in over the summer and you guys let me talk about my poker channel on
Yeah.
YouTube.
You guys remember
Oh,
Andy.
yeah.
Poker Andy.
Okay,
Now I
got
know.
her.
So,
Poker in the rear.
is your weird job poker?
Nope.
No, actually, from 2009 to about 2013, I worked in a bunch of different roles doing film and television production.
Okay. So, what kind of like that kind of it's a huge spectrum of things that you could do. What did you do specifically?
So I got my start, and a lot of my work was working as a production assistant, which is kind of like the bottom tier position on a set. But I did a lot of PA jobs. I worked in the talent department doing castings for TV shows. Like I did a couple castings for The Bachelor here in Florida, and eventually worked my way up to a second assistant director spot on a couple shoots, which was a lot of fun.
So what does that job entail?
So if we start with production assistant, they're the grunt work people. They're usually the first ones on set, and they're the last ones to leave. They're the ones that set up everything. They're in charge of taking care of the food, feeding the crew, just kind of helping out where needed. Being a casting assistant meant that I went to casting calls for various shows and interviewed people and recorded interviews with them, trying to find contestants for certain shows. A second assistant director tends to work with all of the background talent. So for me, I was doing it on commercials for like Disney and Universal, and you work with all the background extras in terms of organizing them, where they're supposed to be, processing their paperwork, stuff like that.
I've always wanted to know what those people choose to talk about when you're told if you're a background actor, like if you and I are sitting at a table
and you're pretending to have a conversation.
because like I would imagine that for someone like you, Tom, that would be weird because it would be awkward, because you'd be kind of saying the same thing over and over again unless you decided to actually have a real conversation, which probably is going to look better, right?
It is awkward, but I can get through that under the fact that it's acting and it's like, hey, just act like you're having a conversation with someone. I could do that, and if the long as the other person is doing the same thing, I think I'd be fine.
But would you over exaggerate it like you did during the magic trick?
Yeah.
Where
It's
you're
a horrible.
like, would you really be like over talking, like and doing big hand motions and?
Yeah.
You probably won't like that in the background, would you?
Well, it's funny. I think what makes it even more awkward is a lot of times people aren't actually talking. They're just mimicking that they're talking, but nothing's coming out because there's live mics that are trying to pick up your principal actor's dialogue. So not only are you having to make small talk, but it has to be inaudible or undetectable small talk.
You know what I just thought of? Like, I bet when they film movies after, if the time frame in the movie is after smartphones and everybody has smartphones, like in a scene where everybody's like talking to each other in the background, that's not accurate anymore. It would just be everybody in the background looking at their phones, right?
Yeah, but you don't see that. Because it would be distracting from the scene, because I think you'd see a lot of light flicker, right? You'd see like apps and little things.
But it's like if you're filming a scene in a restaurant, it would be inaccurate to have everybody just talking and not on their phones.
Yeah.
Like at least you should have half the people on their phones because that's what the reality is.
Correct.
So I'm always like grossed out by the waste of money in most TV productions, and I use the term grossed out because like that's how it makes me feel when it's seemingly they're spending an insane amount of money on like
they're punting like 200 unused Einstein bagels into a trash bin or something. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, like not only like with craft services, I'm sure there's an insane amount of like they set out like an insane bagel spread for a bunch of actors that are not eating carbs and things like like maybe some of the grips and the camera guys eat some of it and then the rest gets punted in the trash and then like. So everybody has to have a job because everything's unionized in all like film production. So it's like, like you can't move that sandbag because that's the lighting guy's sandbag. So we got to wait till he gets off lunch to move it. And everyone's just standing around because that's the rules.
Yeah.
If like you move that sandbag and the union finds out, they'll find you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
it's ridiculous.
Do you see a lot of that?
There's a ton of food waste for sure, especially when you're working with those union crews, because you can't run out of food. You can always throw it away, but you can't run out of it. Where they sometimes would make up their money, and this is what they tasked the production assistants with doing, was we'd go out and buy all sorts of different wardrobe choices for men, women, boys, girls, all that stuff. So there was a variety for the costuming people and stuff to choose from. And then when they're done with it, a lot of times they make the PAs take it back to Ross or TJ Maxx or wherever they got it from and try to get a refund on it.
Oh, God.
Really?
So while they're very wasteful in some aspects, they're also very cheap in other aspects.
What a
Do you know how
horrible end
embarrassing
of
it
your
is to walk
day.
into? Do you know how embarrassing it is to walk into TJ Maxx with 200 different items of clothing saying that you need a return and you don't have a receipt for it?
No.
That's what
We don't go to TJ Maxx because everyone here is pretty well off.
I'm a fashionista.
No, I'm kidding.
that would be the thing that drives me crazy, the inconsistency of how they spend their money. It's like in one aspect you're punting $400 worth of food in the trash because you had to keep it on site because those are the rules, and then you're returning clothes at Ross because you're trying to get the $300. You know what I'm saying? Like you're wasting money here and you're trying to like pinch pennies here is crazy. So like as a production assistant, do you just get used as an intern basically by the set and like the director, anybody that's above you? I imagine everybody's above you at that role, right?
Everybody's above you, and you're usually reporting to the production coordinator or the unit production manager, and you're basically just doing all of the grunt work. If there's transportation needs and you have to get rental cars, you're going to pick up and gassing those rental cars. If there's errands that need to be run during the shoot to buy stuff, you're going on those errands. As a production assistant, very rarely are you doing anything that actually really contributes to the production. You're definitely not moving sandbags. That's a union job. You're not touching lights, and you're sure as hell not touching a camera when you're a production assistant. It's basically just grunt work, but it's something that pretty much everybody has to do if you want to make it into this industry. There are a lot of kids that graduate from a private university here in town with $60,000 or $80,000 worth of debt for their degree in filmmaking, and they think they're going to walk on set and just start directing major motion pictures. That's not how it works, man. Unless your last name is like Spielberg or Bay, everybody starts at the bottom.
It's kind of like starting as an intern in radio or whatever, right?
Exactly. Except the pay isn't bad for most shows. A PA can make anywhere from $125 to $200 a day. Now, granted, I mean, these are 13, 14, 15-hour days, but there's a lot of downtime on productions, too. Like, for instance, once you get everything set up, and now they're doing lighting tests with the actors, and they're going over dialogue and stuff like that. As a PA, you're just kind of sitting back playing on your phone, taking it all in.
Let's talk about
Okay with that.
sweet union jobs because
Yes.
my buddy works for a union and he says most of his time is just waiting for other people to get done because everybody like is in the construction industry.
Yeah.
But he's like, most of my time is spent just waiting for the painters to get done or whatever, someone else to finish something. So we're getting paid like, and especially if it's overtime, he's like, I'm getting paid $87 an hour to just stand here and look at my phone because I'm waiting on someone else. And there's so many rules that it's like,
How do you even keep up with them? They change them all the time, right?
yeah, and it's like you can't do something faster that would actually help you do the job if it's not under your
Approved,
particular job or whatever. So I imagine you see a lot of that in that industry, right?
So with the union guys, obviously their pay is pretty good. We'll take an assistant cameraman. This guy's not running a camera. He's usually helping the main cameraman, changing lenses, finding f-stops and focal lengths, backing up data onto a computer and stuff like that. And an AC can make $250 to $350 for a 10-hour day, and then after 10 hours they're on overtime. And with all union members, they can only work 5.5 hours, and then they have to be provided a meal. And if they're not provided a meal, then they get paid 2.5 times their regular rate. So that's always a big thing with productions is that when lunch is scheduled at a certain time, you've got to get to lunch, or else you're going to start paying everybody 2.5 times their regular rate.
Imagine how
Who wrote that? That's awesome.
Well, over the years, it just gets like
I
little
know, it
things
gets
that
adjusted, yeah.
And, but imagine how cheap it would be to film a movie with like no rules. Literally, it's like you'd have to pay people, obviously, but
just like
it would be like no union rules, nothing. It's like
Well, you could save a lot of money for your special effects if you wanted to.
You could probably get it done for what would you say, like half the cost of like over the years of so much inflation.
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah. Like well, who am I asking? Daniel, Samantha, sir? God,
I mean, I don't know.
You know about the what we're talking about.
I just started watching movies last year.
No, you're right. If we didn't have to wait for certain people to come in to adjust certain things and stuff, yeah, you could probably save 30 to 40% of your budget. But that's not the way it works.
Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you who's cheap is the reality TV shows are cheap. Those are the ones that pay the least and work you the longest days and really don't want to put any money into the show until the show's become a big success. And once it has, then they'll start pumping all the money into it. But reality shows, when I was working in TV, were some of the worst paying gigs.
Yeah,
I started watching a new reality show last night.
What are you on?
World's Greatest Surfer.
Okay.
I've seen
The Kelly Slater show?
Yeah, I've seen the advertising.
Yeah, first episode was last night, so me and the wife watched it. It is kind of good, but kind of a hunk of crap.
Yeah.
And Kelly Slater looks like a tan rock man. Like looks like he's made out of brown rocks.
Yeah. Regular surfing is only interesting to surfers. You know what I'm saying?
This is lake surfing too. It's on that wave
really?
that he took 10 years to design.
Oh yeah.
That
It's basically just a big advertisement for his
surf ranch.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I mean, it's worth watching one episode. We'll see where it goes.
I bet he funded it or something like that to promote
It's an
his
ABC
thing.
show too. So
all right, Andy. And how much you said how much you made like yearly?
$150 to $200 a day.
Yeah, like what does that translate to? Like if you did that for a full-time job a year?
So when I was doing this, I was like 30 years old, and I was working probably on average about 15 days a month at $150 a day. So I don't know, I was making like 35 grand.
That's pretty good for 15 days a month doing something you're interested in.
Yeah, that you care about.
Cool, Andy. Well, next time you call in, it'll be how many? 4 times?
Number 4.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
You'll never get to 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're out.
I think I can hear
Rand's
Tom's
course.
boredom on this one. Could you hear Tom's boredom a little bit? I could hear it.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about like any of the shows I worked for, or the celebrities I met, or anything like that.
Why don't you bring it up?
We were kind of waiting on you to bring the sizzle. It's Tuesday in my head.
Hold on, sir. Why do you have to have me pull it out of you? Just start with it. Be like, hey, did I ever tell you about the time I met Shaq? Just tell me.
Guys,
Why are you waiting for it? You know, Andy. You know me. I'm struggling. I'm trying to come up with questions about your porn-ass job. Some jobs are not that interesting. This is one of them. Make it interesting. Tell me.
I mean, he told us about TJ Maxx.
Be like, I met Sylvester Stallone one time.
Burlington is better.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, did I tell you about the time Bruce Willis poo-pooed his pants? Start with that. Just right off the bat.
It was at Burlington Co-Factory.
Yo, you better tell us an interesting story, Andy, because you brought it up.
Okay, Andy.
What's the best story you got?
Oh boy! When I was working at Feud, we were taping at Universal Studios, and so that's also where they were filming TNA Impact Wrestling, and that's right when Hulk Hogan had come in and brought all his buddies in, Kevin Nash, Sting, all that stuff. So I was part of the ring crew. We were responsible for maintaining the ring, the maintenance on it, and stuff like that. And then during on-air things, we would act as quote unquote security. Now, I'm like 6'3", but at the time I weighed maybe $190, so I'm definitely, one of the smallest guys to get in that ring. But we were going to go break up this huge brawl with Bully Ray and Scott Steiner and all that. We all knew where we were supposed to slide in and who was going to attack us and what they were going to do. So the big moment comes, and I'm running down the ramp, and I slide into the ring like a professional, and I'm supposed to run to Scott Steiner, and he's going to throw me through the ropes and onto the ground. And when I hit the ring, Bully Ray was standing there, and he started kicking me with his combat boots, and I just curled into the fetal position. You can see it on TV. I'm laying there helpless. He gets up, and he tries to throw me out of the ropes, and my big size 14 shoe gets stuck on the rope, and he just starts kicking me in my fat flank on the side. Fell out of breath.
Good sir. That's a solid
story. You earned yourself a number 4.
Yeah. Nice job.
I'm surprised.
I heard the doubt. I'm taking it away again.
I like the fact that they're just like, hey, you guys, you've never done this before.
That's what we do.
I know. I like that.
That's what we do. We're standing side stage at the Front Yard Festival, and I'm like, the magician's eggs fell out of his pockets. What do we do? What do we do?
Run up there. Pretend like you're astounded by the floating table.
Not only do I not have a whole lot of training, but I also never signed a waiver. Had I fallen and broken my neck, I might own Impact Wrestling or Universal.
That's called
That's
called the iHeartMedia style.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
By the way, that's not how it works. They don't just be like, well, you're Hulk Hogan's boss now.
guys, get in here. This fat guy tripped and fell, and now it's not called TNA Wrestling anymore. Now it's called Andy's Wrestling. It's weird.
They'll tie it up in litigation for 20 years. You'll never see the light of day. All right, Andy. We'll talk to you the fourth time.
And I'm sorry that Tom was so mean to you, sir. I apologize.
Guys, thanks so much.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. We'll never talk to him again. Great job. That's
He's
my
fine.
job.
He likes it.
I don't think I've ever heard you. I don't think I've ever heard you act like me before on this show.
With what?
He's stressed out, man.
Yeah,
this boat situation.
This boat,
it's
this
fine.
boat has got you on
Dig in the trenches.
Talk about the ropes. This boat's got you on the ropes, man.
No, it's fine.
Your hair's hair is completely fallen.
Yeah.
It's deflated.
I was just running around this morning.
Your eyes are bloodshot. Your face is red. You're tired. What happened?
No. It just yesterday when I got home, I'm trying to change all these bearings out in the damn boat because it's my only option at this point, and I'm just irritated that the people didn't tell me what I know now, which is I should have just bought an entire hub system with everything inside.
Get a new trailer, brand new trailer.
No, not a brand new trailer.
You need a new trailer.
And new boat.
New boat?
Changing out the bearings isn't that difficult. The problem is that, I know, I told you, I'm complaining. You guys don't want to hear about it.
The racer.
Yeah, the race.
The race.
That it's nearly impossible to fit down into the hub without the race setting tool that you have to buy. Anyway, it's just like all this nonsense. I could just buy the whole complete hub system, which they should have told me to begin with. Are you
starving yourself again, too, to make yourself extra grumpy? Because I'd never seen you yell at a listener like that before.
I didn't yell at him.
Breakfast?
Yeah, you yelled at him pretty bad.
I didn't. I just said what. You called. This is the third time he called.
I agree with you. So, Andy should have been ready. He was a little lazy on this one.
And I
feel like.
listen, some weird jobs you have to run, some you walk, some you sit down and they come to you.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was a runner.
Yeah.
And then I got tired of running, and then it fell on its face, and then
I think we need to let more of them fall on their face. And when they're not good, I think what you did was accurate.
Well, he had a good story. He should have started with the old kick me in the flanks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I was mad.
We got to take another break. Okay, we'll take one.
Yeah.
We'll come back
All
with
right,
more.
Everybody calm down.
What's wrong with him? I'm fine.
No, we just
I'm
I
fine.
think you're scaring Samantha.
Take a break.
So, I'm not even mad. I'm happy.
Oh,
This is
Oh,
me
that's
happy.
worse.
that's happy. Oh my god.
I'm not a
Well, he's
fun.
happiest when he's bullying, so I know that what's
Yeah.
coming.
No, no.
And
but-
Butler's not
well,
here,
wait.
so it's going to come to one of
That's
us.
the problem.
Yeah.
Is that Butler's not here. You don't have your
Someone to
you don't
bully.
have your little pee-pee dog running around here that you could yell at and kick at his flakes.
I don't do anything to Butler. He does whatever he wants.
That's true.
Doesn't even mail the tickets.
No, I
know.
didn't.
He didn't do nothing. Is he in the chat room?
I think he left.
Oh my god, can't even stay in the
He's
chat.
on vacation.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back with more Happy Tom right after this. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. Fish. What all the stuff. Let's do voicemails.
Okay.
Voicemail messages. 2 ways to leave them. You can call 1-844-TOM-N-DAN. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN. Call that number. Leave us a message that way. I check those about once a week. Now, the easiest way and best way to leave us a message, these are the messages that sound like you're actually on the show. Just grab our app. All of our content's on there. You can sign up to be a BDM member. You can pay a little extra, get extra shows, private parties when those roll back out, merch drops. We try to tell our BDMs about new partnerships, stuff that we've got going on first. And if you're not signed up, you might want to. TomandDan.com to sign up, but you can also do that through our app. There's a button on there that says mediocre messages. If you click that, you can leave a message for us.
Basically, BDMs take priority over every other listener first. Like, we try to give BDMs everything first.
Indeed.
And, so.
Those are our guys. Let's start with this one from Philip.
Hey guys, sure do love a good Tom boat story, making memories with his kids. My dad made memories with me on his boat he bought in '95. No boating experience, didn't purchase anything to go along with it, i.e. paddles, life jackets, maybe just one rope. Put the boat in first day, he had it. It's raining, 50, on a river. Push off. He's in the boat. I jump on, slip, fall, face first, break out both my 2 front teeth. Not baby teeth, adult teeth.
Oh, man.
Decided to just keep going forward, already in the water. Get probably about...
Hold on a second.
I don't know why.
This is the voicemail we needed. This is the voicemail we needed. Nothing breaks tension like a good old dad who doesn't care whether his son's teeth just got knocked out.
No,
He's
it's just
he said still moving forward, already got it in the water. That's what I heard. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
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 It's,
So his dad is he knocked out his like I'm imagining what I have right here.
yeah,
And he knocked those out, and then the dad's just like,
Well, they're out. Yeah. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Well-
We gotta go. Yeah, we're already here. By the way, if my son's knocked their front
oh
teeth
my
out,
god, you be start crying.
I've called 911.
Yeah.
I called the ambulance.
Yeah.
They're like,
I'll
like,
meet
this is
you.
not a-
I'll hand him through the window towards the like
Yeah.
you would be like hauling ass to the hospital.
By the way, the whole time petrified, scared of my wife and how this is my fault.
I
You know,
always
so-
get afraid of that.
My brother knocked one of my teeth out when I was a child, and my dad just told me to gargle salt water. That was
He's
his,
not wrong.
That was his solution,
He's
and that's
not
all
wrong.
we did. That
He's
was
not
it.
wrong. That is good. That will help it heal.
That was absolutely all we did.
You know what? Maybe we've been a little hard on your dad.
Yeah. Seemed like he knew the salt water. It seemed like a pretty good guy.
It all starts with salt water.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knew that. I mean,
Yeah.
he could have just been like tough, tough ass.
But remember, I think I remember correctly. That might have been the only good thing he ever said to Sam. Was gargle with
Yeah.
salt.
Pretty certain he also beat the hell out of me afterwards because we were fighting.
bring that up.
Let's go back to this
Oh,
guy's. This
go
guy's
back to
voicemail.
knocking teeth out.
We'll go back to this.
Now 2 miles down the river, engine just stops working. No power. Check the back. The intake manifold is falling off. Brand new boat.
Brand new
So
boat.
trying to fix that, there's a barge coming down the river, big old coal barge. No paddle. Barge is just screaming on the horn, and he has to rip off the top of his cooler. Thank God he had that. Paddle us to the shore.
The cooler top.
Oh my
Got the
God.
manfold back on. On our way to limp it back to shore, the intake on the bottom sucked up a bunch of trash. He had to jump in the water, probably very cold, and pull the trash out. That was the first day. After that, nothing but terrible memories.
Dude. That should have been your sign to get rid of that boat.
That's the
Get
whole
rid
That's the
reason.
best caller. man.
That guy's great.
That,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
with all that in one day,
It made me
and that's
cry.
your first time out on the boat, I would say that that's a sign that you should not have that boat.
I also like how quickly he moved on from the teeth.
Yeah.
Like, that was just a passing comment. Not the front teeth, that no big deal. Everything else got a lot of time in the story, right? But the teeth was just that was just like a side character.
I wonder how much that cost him. Oof.
See,
Oh, I
everyone.
have tears in my eyes. I'm emailing that guy. You get a prize, sir, for that.
That's
Is
good.
you deserve a prize. That's a great story.
See, that guy's old
He's trying
man.
to warn you, Tom.
That guy's old man is a Tom Van, but he doesn't have a crow yelling at him so much to make or make up for all the mistakes, or at least like make you cognizant of like being prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Crystal throughout my life has told me all the stuff I'm doing wrong so much that has corrected a certain amount of behavior.
It's like that movie,
Like-
Memento, right? A
Yeah.
little bit.
Like first,
Like you've written that you bumble somewhere permanently on the outside of you or in your brain.
Yeah.
So you're always aware that you're different than other people, right?
But I see other people doing the same things that I do, but they don't have anybody correcting the behavior
Yeah.
or they're like any partner helping them or whatever, like, or their partner's oblivious or doesn't bother them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the people that get the most struggles.
Oh, yeah.
Because they go out on the boat that obviously they're not prepared for, and they make mistakes after mistake, and then it just all caused by things they could have stopped, but there's bad luck plays into it, and
It's just like
lack of preparation.
self-awareness.
Not understanding
Yeah.
that you're not good enough to do this without preparation.
Yeah, like
how, and then you keep doing it over and over.
Delusional, lack of self-awareness,
Delusional.
Overconfidence.
overconfidence.
It's delusional confidence, lack of self-awareness, mixed in with never planning anything, which it kind of ties into the delusional confidence, because you're like, I don't need a paddle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
why
Like,
would we knew that? Brand new boat. I'm with him on that. I
Delusional-
wouldn't have thought that too. It's a brand new boat.
Yeah, that's
I don't need
true.
a paddle.
But there also is delusional optimism, which is like you don't even plan for the bad things because you're like, what's the likelihood of that happening?
That's how you live your life.
I'm telling you how.
You're delusionally positive. See, Andrea is not
optimistic.
She's positive. Like, she's a very positive person, but she's ever prepared for anything that might stomp
Just in
out her
case.
positivity, right? Like, she loves
that's
to live
being
her
prepared.
life. Well, yeah, but she loves to live her life in that area of positivity, and she has figured out that the only way to do that is to actively eliminate any things that would get in your way before you even get to those things. That's where her preparedness comes from.
Or but she's willing to put in the work to be prepared.
Correct.
I'm too
I'm not
lazy.
either. I don't do it.
I look at the scenario and then I'm like, what's the like there's 20% possibility that this happens. So why am I going to do all this work to prepare for 20%? That's how I justify it. And then I don't do it. Most of the time, I'm 80% of the time I'm right. And then when those 20% happen, it's a horrible catastrophe.
No, I got
and it's
you.
miserable.
You got an email,
Sure.
Sam? Yeah, let's jump over there.
Dan, there is a show on Netflix that's right up your alley called Big Timber. Not that I think it's your love of logging that will interest you, but it's super relaxing. It follows a Canadian timber business, so everyone smiles through their challenges. Also, one of the guys they call in for help looks exactly like Stooge Tom. Enjoy.
You know, I am liking TV not necessarily having to fully resonate with me or make a statement, or like it's I'll give you an example, like watching Handmaid's Tale, watching First 48.
You like garbage TV.
But those type of shows
They're
are
heavy.
they're very intense. You know,
Yeah.
even like First 48 is garbage TV. It's really a reality
about
show.
murder, yeah.
But Andrea's obsessed with it. And then you watch these, you watch Handmaid's Tale. It's heavy. Ted Lasso, that's good. I like stuff like that. But then there is another category where it's almost like there's like positive, educational, explaining the occupation style TV. And I think that's kind of what this show would fall into. And I'm into that. Like, I'm into the TV.
History Channel does that a lot.
They
right?
do. And there's this show that Maisie really likes that I started getting into just because it's nice to have on in the background. It's called Craftopia. It's just people making things.
Yeah.
Or the show Make It with Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman. That's another crafting show. These crafting shows like really showcase. Oh, it's almost. I guess I'm just watching art, really, like artists.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch artists because I think that's where Maisie's going, and that makes me very proud. She calls herself a crafter. Like, she loves like making things out of things, like an old cell phone case. So she made like a cardboard phone out of it and then drew it and stuck it in the case. And, like, she likes to do that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we're landing. But this sounds good. Big Timber.
Yeah.
All right. What are
And-
you watching lately? What are you guys been?
He's watching documentaries, I'm sure.
Guys, I've been staying up late. I've been watching shows, right?
I've been staying up on RuPaul's All Stars
I
because
finished-
I'm rooting for Ginger Minge that we've had on the show before.
Yep, we need to all root for
She's
Ginger
still in
Minge.
there. She's still in the game, by the way. And then I just started last week Peaky Blinders.
Heard good things about that.
It's like only 5 seasons in.
I finished the first season of Schmigadoon, the musical. That's a good show.
What is that?
It's a musical, but but you remember we talked about it a little bit. I love it. I think it's a really good show. I think you would
I'd
like
probably
it.
like it,
I
yeah.
think you would like it. It's just really well done. They left it kind of open ended.
Cecily Strong, right?
Yep.
And somebody else.
And Kegel Michael what I always mess up his name. Mm-hmm.
Kiki.
Kegels.
All I've been watching is YouTube videos of how to change bearings.
God damn it. Don't
I
bring
like
it
that.
up.
I liked videos like that. I do that all the time. Last night I watched a bunch of finger picking YouTube videos and a bunch of the brand new Bronco. I've been watching a lot of brand new Bronco videos and people taking them off road and doing like, test drives and reviews and stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you can basically. I wondered, and I'm sure someone will do this in the future. It'll probably take them an insane amount of time to document and to do. But like, you could probably build an entire house with no knowledge of construction and just watch YouTube videos to learn how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, because there's every single thing that you possibly could want to learn is on YouTube, and they'll walk you step by step through it. I mean, like, you could.
I do that with guitar songs. Like, I'll sit down with it, and the guy will say, like, hey, go here.
Yeah.
And I'll just pause it. And...
It's, we have a free personal instruction for every single thing you could possibly think of, right? And
yeah,
it's like-
and you have. The cool thing about it, too, is you're not locked into one particular style of learning. It used to be like back in the day, like if you wanted to learn how to, let's say, podcast, something like podcasting.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to one particular school that would teach you one particular method. But now there are people that, can show you. You could vet it and find 100 different ways to do it, right? And then find the one that fits best for you.
What's interesting is the transition of YouTube videos, informational videos. Like there's a lot of them, and they're still out there. But they started with companies doing it for advertising and marketing, right? So, so like you'll have a lot of YouTube videos. Oh man, it's happening.
There it is. Get it out.
He needs to go to the doctor about his allergies, but he won't.
And I got the acid reflux medication. I haven't taken it. It has helped, but it takes a while to kick in. Anyway, so a lot of companies started with marketing videos. Like AutoZone would ask one of their employees to make a video about how to change your air filter, so they could put on YouTube and market AutoZone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those, but those are very step by step and edited by a corporation, and like boat companies do it, because I watch a lot of boat companies, like some Boat Tree or West Coast Marine.
Yeah, West Marine.
Or West Marine. Would put together a video with this, and then you'll got the guys, the Weekend Warrior guys, that will just cut to the chase and give you like the cliff notes of how to do it, which are better than the step-by-step corporate ones.
Like I'm telling you, if you have a Honda Ruckus, the guy you're looking for is there's a surfer, long-haired surfer guy. He's deaf. His videos are and the way, and I think that his his handicap or his disability has actually made his videos better because he streamlines them and he has to show you rather than tell you, right?
Yeah.
And it's so much better that he does these Honda Ruckus videos on how to take care of every aspect of this particular scooter. And he does the best videos because it's just him. And he'll say certain things, certain little words here and there, but he's deaf and he's not going to talk. He types everything up on the screen and then he just shows you him doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And this guy is a wealth of Ruckus knowledge, man. It's actually kind of nice. He puts cool music behind it. It's kind of calming in a way that he's showing you rather than just talking at you. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it makes more sense. If you're a visual person and you have a scooter, try it. It's cool.
I wonder if they'll ever clean up the way they organize YouTube and start dropping out older videos. And because of this reason, it seems like the original videos that were uploaded, let's say 2011 or 2010 or whatever, they'll have the most views, especially if it's an informational video about something,
Yeah.
And just because it was the only video at that time doing that thing, so it'll have 2.5 million views, and it'll be the first one that propagates.
Because it's been there the longest,
and it has the most views, but it's not necessarily the best put together video. It just has the most views because it started at a time where there was less content. And now there's insane content and there's better videos than that original, but that has the most views and you'll see it first.
This is a problem with other, I won't say their name, but certain podcast hosting companies. There's a problem within the podcast space that they talk about a lot on podcasts about podcasting, where there is an extremely high concentration of podcasts feeds that are out there, but they're not active. And these particular feeds haven't been updated in years, but they're just still out there. And it kind of muddles up the space, and it makes it very difficult if you were a new podcaster to be discovered. It makes it almost virtually impossible for you to be discovered.
Yeah, why show?
And they're addressing this now. So I would imagine that based on that, I think that's maybe even older. Like, podcasting is pretty old. If you really if you think in terms of new tech, it is an older form. I would imagine that YouTube will address it at some point, or maybe they're already currently addressing it behind the scenes. But they're going to have to address it because it's a suck, and it messes up. If you want your algorithm to be correct or have people even believe in it, right?
Yeah,
you're going to have to take stuff that's not active anymore or people aren't listening to out of the space, because at some point it just becomes a bunch of roadblocks in the way.
And it just muddles up the whole system if you're trying to find a new podcast that stopped podcasting in 2018. And it's like, well, they haven't done a show. Why are you even showing me this podcast?
Now, there are differences in, let's say, let's take a podcast that was done for, let's say, the movie A Star is Born with Lady Gaga, right? That's just an example I'm thinking of. If that movie is still relevant and people are still watching it, then you can still activate that podcast and keep it out there. It might have a really good interview with Bradley Cooper or something that you want out there. But they're talking more about stuff that's like, there's a lot of news programs that did a daily update from 2015. We don't need that anymore.
Right.
It's not necessary. That stuff isn't, with age, it doesn't get any better. It's just pertinent, timely information.
The sports stuff is the worst with
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one's going to go back and listen to a recap of last year's Super Bowl, right?
Right. Exactly.
Why do you care?
But they put that stuff in place, and it's kind of like this bothers me about our fantasy football league. We've had one in the past, but we can't go back to that one because it had other people in it, and you couldn't change it to put new people's names in there, so you had to start a new one. And that's so wasteful, because if you look at my account when I log into my fantasy football, there's 5 different leagues that it's all the same league, but it's waste. It's it doesn't even need to, it's like digital waste, which
digital garbage.
There is such a thing. You asked this question last week, didn't you? Weren't you talking about where does all the, I know it sounds like a high thought, but it was we were talking about where does all the digital garbage go? It's gotta go somewhere.
It was just sitting in servers somewhere, right?
Don't know. Want to take a break?
Yeah, let's
We
take
gotta
a break.
get out of here.
Oh, bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha is here, and you know what time it is, buddy. I don't want to be late. Let's jump into it now. Nerdjack. Oh, it's low.
Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerdjack with EJ. I see you cut your hair, EJ.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, also, Tom, thanks for coming to S Sandwich on Saturday. Appreciate that.
Did you actually cut your hair, or did you get somebody to cut your hair? That looks as if you cut your own hair.
No, I went to a barber.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just one length that you could just
you could
cut it with some clippers.
Like
right?
most
So 3 on the top, 2 on the sides.
Most of my friends that get that same haircut, I have a lot of friends that have this haircut. They're wonderful people, great people. No, just the cadence of the way I was saying that sounded like somebody else I know.
Yeah.
But no, he like the people that I know that have this haircut, they do it with dog shears, and that's not a diss on you. I'm just saying if you want to save some money, most
They
of
do
my
it quick,
buddies that have like a buzz, look, I'm this close to doing it. Because I can't grow my hair. I remember I was trying to grow my hair, and then I started getting the Ron DeSantis, like, presidential haircut. I'm like, I don't know about that.
The George Washington.
Yeah, it was looking a little long in the back. It started to flip up in the back like a wig. It looked like I had Lego hair.
So it's the problem. The transition is the problem. At the beginning, it's good, and at the end, it's good, but the transition is the worst.
Correct. Yeah, I feel that. So I'm at a point now where I just have like a normal little boy haircut, and I'm feeling like I want to buzz it down again, live a little.
Is that how most people go gray as it starts in the burns like me? And
Well,
then
no,
it goes up?
mine started here. Mine started in the center of my beard.
Yeah.
This is the first place I went gray, and now it's spreading out, right? And it's taking over my beard. And then I'm getting some in my burns like you do, and then now I've got some when I comb. I've got 1 or 3 white streaks that go through my hair, and boy, are those unsettling. That'll make you feel old.
All right, EJ, what do you got today?
All right, well, we're going to start with some like really old news but sad news. They finally caught the guy who murdered Brian Pata, who was a football player at Miami. He got shot and murdered in 2006, and it turns out it was one of his own teammates, Rayshawn Jones. Yeah, it was over a girl. Pata was dating the guy's ex-girlfriend, got mad about it. They used to have fights in practice, and it took him years to find this out. Like, he just got arrested last week.
Now, did they know that? Like, because I remember when this happened, vaguely. Had they always known who the killer was? They were just trying to track him down, or was it?
He was kind of the prime suspect.
Gotcha.
But they didn't have any like really solid evidence on him until recently. Someone came forward and said they witnessed him walking away briskly from the scene after it happened. And that's the evidence they got, which I don't think it's enough to convict him on. A good defense attorney is going to probably shut that down real fast.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, 15...
With this much time,
Yeah, 15 years later, some eyewitness testimony doesn't seem like they'd even indict a person over that. You know what I'm saying?
They must have something else.
Yeah, I was going to... I'm with Sam on
There's
this.
no way.
I would imagine they probably are holding their cards, and they have some new stuff that came to light, people that are more than just... like you said, a witness on this. They would have to have a little something more than that.
Maybe they have some sort of DNA or some science that helps with the eyewitness testimony, and both of those combined is enough. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
it could have been they might have had some DNA, but they just didn't have this guy on file.
Right.
And now that they have the eyewitness, maybe they did do something where they subpoenaed something. Yeah, we don't know. So
it would be cool to think that they're going to probably cover this, and there'll probably be a documentary. I would imagine that they'll
What happened?
So ESPN was the reason why. Like ESPN, it was almost a cold case, and then there was like 3 ESPN writers that kept it alive for so long, and that's the reason why it kept going. They kept on reassigning detectives, and just recently they finally had the eyewitness, and maybe they have the evidence. I don't know, because they probably are not releasing everything until the court dates.
If you're the guy that murdered him, and it's been like 21 years, is there a time like 5 years ago where he's like, I'll never be, or is he always expecting
I have often, man, this is going to paint me as a very, like a psycho. But there have been times where I've laid in bed and tried to figure out how long it would take to get away with something grandiose. Let's go kidnapping, murders, something crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could put a number on it for me. That's just, with the way my brain works, it would always be top of mind.
Yeah, and for this guy, like he was a suspect. They interviewed him. I'm sure he was like he knows he was a suspect. The case is open.
Yeah.
But I guess after a certain amount of time, you have to
start
thinking like, all right, they're never gonna
especially if
do
you're
anything.
Dumb. And I'm gonna guess that this guy is not an amazingly intelligent person.
Yeah.
Easier for him maybe to move on, compartmentalize, and continue.
Just forget about it. Like you don't wake up every morning like, oh man, I hope today's not the day.
I mean, there are things
too dumb to be worried.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Not that guy. Can't do that.
All right, EJ, next story.
Okay, next story. Have you guys been seeing the new trend on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram of the Hood Olympics? Have you guys seen these?
Does this have anything to do with the milk crate
with
challenge?
The milk crates, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I did see it, and the only one I saw in the BDM group, and I vowed to not watch any more of these, was a really, really big man doing it.
I love that one.
I
Where he falls
don't.
right on
He
his
looks
face.
so
he
sad.
falls so hard.
No, man, look, look, anybody can call me
He
a
does
pussy.
a quick wobble at the top.
You could call me a pussy, call me weak, call me I've changed, I'm soft. When that man gets up, his face, he's so sad because he almost killed himself. No, I did not like that at all.
You know what's
did not enjoy that video.
You know what's weird
One
about this?
star.
Usually, this is a white guy's game, right? Like as far as doing because this would be considered like a jackass style. Hey,
sure.
a challenge that most people fail,
Yeah.
and you're going to fail most likely, right?
So you're thinking like
well, it's just,
dumb, bored Midwestern white people challenge?
yeah. Well, it's like
All right.
It's like, hey, I'm, stand on or try to go down this hill in a shopping cart. Most likely you're going to flip over, but try it. It falls in that category, right? Because most people fall, and they've seen most people fall. So by you trying it means that you're willing to eat S, right?
Well, in this one with the big guy one, of course, because it's like this guy, you could tell by the way he's standing on the top that like moving upstairs for this particular gentleman isn't like the easiest thing to do. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some like no self-awareness whatsoever if you think you can do that. I mean, your friends were obviously egging you to do that for money or something, right? And then you fell and got hurt.
But you must have known about the challenge and seen other people do it probably, right? Or
yeah,
no?
it's the new viral
I've seen
challenge.
successful ones, yeah.
I saw a girl do it in high heels.
That's dumb.
Yeah, there are people that can do
But she
it.
actually did it and like made it up and down. But then you see the old guy who's like 40 pounds overweight, and he has no business even getting to the height of the third row, and he's on the top and he's wobbling crazy, and you're like, you have no chance. And then he his legs shoot out from under him, and then he falls on his ribs on the third stack down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like,
Knocks
dude,
the
that's.
wind out of him.
I mean, how high is the top stack? At least like
It's like
8
8
foot.
crates high.
It's 8 crates, 7 crates high,
Well,
something like
I think
that.
a crate's 1 foot, right?
Yep.
So it's like 8 feet high. You fall from 8 feet onto your side.
You fall on your head, you're dead.
Yeah.
But like what's interesting about these is like I don't believe that there are very many people, if not any people, that when you set this thing up, do it first time. The people that are doing it's not a challenge. The people that are doing it know how to do it, and they're like CrossFit elite athletes, parkour people. You know what I mean?
Is the trick
people that have done it before?
Is the trick to not have all your weight on one stack and to distribute it between two? Is there a trick to it?
I'm sure there could be, but I'm just saying the familiarity of doing it is the trick. These people are not like, oh, here's the challenge, and oh, look, I did it. It's no, you've been practicing it. You've been walking the crates.
Also, if you ask me, hey, go find, how many crates? The top one's 8, so it's like 8, 7 on both sides.
14 more, and then 12 more.
So it's like
then 10 more.
30 crates, right? Or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Like if you told me, hey, go find 30 crates to do the crate challenge, I'm like, I have no idea where to even find those.
You're the milk place. We're in the milk district,
Yeah,
right?
Behind any grocery store.
Can you just go grab
Yeah.
them for free?
Well, not the plastic
No,
ones.
they're
I mean,
stolen,
you're not
sure.
supposed to.
but you
Well,
can.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't know where a bunch of crates are lined up that I can go steal.
T.G. Lee,
Or
Mama, and Papa Gus, the Gustafsons.
do
Yeah.
do you
I
leave
think
it
you
out?
should
or you-
dust up the whole bear suit and do it. Tom,
No, you
for
go
your
there
next, TikTok.
and you say, hey, we're doing a TikTok challenge. Can I buy some of your old milk crates? And they'll say, yes, you can.
This is where we need Butler to be here
Yeah.
so we can have him do the milk crate challenge.
Then
Put it on TikTok and we
then
go
they'll be
viral.
then they'll be like,
I
all
don't
right,
know if
each
that-
crate's $10. And you'll be like, all right, give me 30.
I bet you they wouldn't sell them to you because they don't do that business, right? Like because the
I don't know.
because who are you going to buy it from? The employee, like that just sells it for personal
Where
cash?
do
or-
you buy milk crates, Sam?
You don't buy them. You steal them from the
No.
back of stores.
No, we're doing ours is on the up and up.
Well, I could not tell you that. I
I'm
guess
just-
I can try and find a
That
distributor.
is an interesting question.
I've never drove around the back of
No.
stores and seen a bunch of milk crates and thought well,
no, Tom does
We
bring
used
up.
to make basketball hoops out of them when we were kids.
Yeah, but you didn't have like Tom's point, and I think I get it
I
now.
know.
Is that we have multiple people that are doing this on, there's
you
tons
can
of
actually get some from Walmart.
there's tons in
or
Orlando
Uline.
that are doing it. Yeah, Uline, that's a good guess.
Lowe's has them.
but most likely they're just taking them or
Yeah.
or borrowing them from the store
Yeah,
or
finding
whatever.
them.
What are they besides? Do they even use them for milk anymore?
No,
Use them for records usually. Most people put records in them.
But I'm saying, what's the industrial use for those now? Like,
I guess
Just milk.
I think
That's all
milk.
they deliver milk in. Yeah, they usually put 2 per milk crate.
okay,
2 gallons per milk crate.
Is that how they deliver it now, or have always delivered it? Okay.
That's how they always deliver it.
I
Yeah.
have no idea how milk's delivered.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just asking you.
I have
I have
no
no
help in
idea.
this conversation. I walk into public like, oh my God, it's magic. There's milk here.
yeah. I have no idea about the milk delivery business whatsoever.
What else you got, EJ?
Okay, we got to talk about another fight at the Steelers versus the Lions game. Did you see that one?
Well, there was
I didn't send you the video because it was pretty brutal, and I was like, you know what? I think we're giving these people too much attention.
I like that.
Because they need to stop fighting in the stands.
Was it the dude that started fighting with a wife?
Some lady
No,
slapped the
the wife
guy.
slapped him, and then he pushed her away, and then knocked out her husband.
And then the husband,
After
yeah.
he took his glasses off.
I saw
and the wife
that.
told him to sit down.
Wait,
He got
he
beat
took
up.
his glasses off and then he got beat up? Oh, that's
No,
bad.
no. Okay, the black guy who's in the lower row is talking to the white lady that's in the upper row, and she pushes him and then slaps him, and then he
Don't do that.
pushes her back, takes his glasses off, and knocks her husband out, and then the lady yells at her husband, saying, "Sit down." It's pretty bad.
Why?
That's not a fun. That's not a fun
Again,
family night.
But this lady should have never struck this dude.
Correct.
Yeah, keep your hands to yourself.
And also, why? I mean, how do these things start? And
Someone talking trash, I'm sure.
why
Yeah.
can't people de-escalate situations appropriately?
alcohol?
Alcohol, but also we're not, like and I do think it does have something to do with quarantine and COVID and being inside. Because you get on the internet, you just pop off and say whatever you want. There's zero consequences.
And you think the people are like now just like
I do
used to
think,
that?
yeah, I do think that they're used to just running their mouths.
Although-
And then you get out there and you run your mouth and you think there's no consequences. Next thing you know, you're picking up your face.
But then you escalate, like the lady escalated it to violence when she's
Yeah.
because, and then what do you expect to happen?
Of course, she does that in her
once you-
real life. She loses her cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's just
I mean, that's what
you're
she
not
probably
thinking,
does to her kids. He probably does to her family.
Yeah.
Like, instead of holding her cool, you're really good at it. I give you compliments all the time about how you're really good about giving things a beat and just being, whoa. We don't need to make this any worse than it already is. Let's just sit here for a second, compose ourselves, and then once we're composed, we'll get the right answer. And it works.
Or just think a couple steps ahead and be like, man, if I hit this guy, things could get violent. You know, like what's going to happen if I slap this guy?
I did it
I did it
last week with the guy at Publix. You know what I mean? Like I
So
think
you de-escalated it. You just walked away.
You have to de-escalate it now because then you'll end up like this guy.
You know what?
Well, I have a hot take. How about we have no women left at the stadiums because the past 2 fights have been started by women?
I knew
Yeah,
that.
because of 2 fights of 2 crazy women.
Well, that's how-
what about all the other dudes in the past however many years that have been fighting in the stands?
Yeah.
That's just men getting aggression out. It's just
So women aren't allowed to
usually
get their
it
Oh, I
aggression
like
out?
that. I
EJ?
see what you're doing. That's good, EJ. He's adding a little. He's changing his character up a little bit, Sam.
What really sucks for these people is the lifelong video evidence that lives on the internet forever.
Of you at a really low moment.
Although, I guess if you are one of these, like, say you're the husband, you get knocked out because your wife hits the dude, all this stuff.
Oh, he clocked her too.
You,
Oh man.
Yeah, he
Nah,
hit the
she
woman
deserved
too,
it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You
Well,
got-
no, the whole thing I'm saying,
Now
man.
she's got
too.
him in a headlock.
Not just
well,
her. I'm
he
just
should
saying-
have. He should have left too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Nobody
everybody's
should be
fault, yeah.
swinging at the football game.
Unless you're protecting yourself, there's no reason for it. But if you're this guy and a lot of these people, you got to hope for more of these fights so it gets buried so they can't find your fight. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It'll only be popular for a week, if
Yeah,
that, and then
yeah.
the next fight will happen, and no one will
I
remember.
mean, really,
but
all
if
you
your
got to
name
worry
is in the
about.
police report, then you're people search that and they find the video.
And then you start getting fired for stuff though too, right? Like you do. Like these people will track you down and they're like, "Where's he working? Oh, he's a trucker for blah blah blah." And then they go and they find you, and then they're calling your boss. Did you know that he hit a woman? And then next thing you know, you're. I mean,
although nowadays hard to find employees, so they probably won't fire you because they need you. Seriously,
you know what? We came in here to fire you for hitting the woman at the football game, but no one else is here, so you got lucky on this one, Harvey.
I think your job is more safe than ever nowadays, and
do whatever you want.
If you do get fired, you can find a new job.
I'll tell you right now, they got some other podcasts and some radio shows that are hiring. I might dip out of this bit.
Everybody's hiring.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
Name a
I've always wanted to work in New York City, do a radio show.
What company is not hiring? Let's talk about that.
Can't find one. Ours is not hiring.
Yeah. Ours active firing.
Yeah. Actively firing.
You only have 2 employees. That's 50-50. Oh, God.
Well, it's not. No one's getting fired. I'm just saying that's our mindset.
No,
it's our mindset.
We're basically,
I'm looking for a reason.
To put this in aeronautical, because I've been playing a lot of MS Flight. We're in the cockpit. We're holding the throttle. I've got the little cover that goes over the fire button. I've got it fully up. I got my thumb on it. Right? I'm like ready to switch. I'm just waiting to pull down like the goggles and get a lock on here. But let's just say the cover is up.
Okay, you remember we talked about the mouse at the palace last week?
The malice at the palace. Yeah, it sounded like you said the mouse in the palace, which I'm like, that's Disney World.
The malice at the palace, the fight between that. I've been watching old NBA stories. Have you guys heard all the stories about Larry Bird? I watched one about Larry Bird this weekend, and it's amazing.
I've heard the urban legends that are probably based on real stories and like the stuff that like he legitimately liked working on his property and like would drive around his tractors and
he looks like at some point during the week, every week, he had to powder his irritated thighs. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a story like he goes into the 3-point contest locker room. He waits till everyone else that's in the contest is in the locker room, and he comes in and he goes, "Which one of you MFers is playing for second place because I'm winning this bitch?" Is this direct quote. And most people also corroborate his story.
Is he saying
Reggie Miller said it?
He's joking around. He doesn't come in there because he looks like a stone cold rooster.
Well, yeah,
he did win it though.
Yeah, but he's probably just effing around,
But I guess you
giving his.
You want him to walk.
He's known for doing that. He called a lot of stuff. He's like, I'm gonna make this 3-pointer in your face, and then I'm gonna fall into that trainer right over there, and he does it, and then he goes, "I told you."
Well, it's. When you step up the bat, always point as if it's going to be a home run because
that's what I'll tell my daughter.
They'll forget it. People will forget when you strike out everything, but when you hit it, they'll be like, "He called it."
Exactly.
Just call everyone. But
then you look stupid when you don't do it though.
But no one
he's not known for doing it.
But no one remembers that. Yeah. They remember the legend of him calling it and then make it. I'm sure he said that before every game he played. Every
just competition. People forget. People forget fast. They'll forget that you called it and you lost.
That's why you should call. It's like why people say "Oh, I knew I was going to win the lottery." You think when you buy a lottery ticket, you're going to win every single time.
Right.
You just don't. When you lose, you go on with your life. But when you win, you're like, "I knew it. I thought I was going to win." That happened every time. Anyway,
what else you got?
Okay, the other story I have is the Raiders front office. You hear that a lot of their executives are leaving because of tax issues. Because of the new stadium in Vegas. Have you heard about this story?
No.
Dude, it is crazy. So 4 of the executives, the president left it, not the owner, but the president. And supposedly it's because they didn't talk about the income for the stadium that they arranged for it. So it's all these tax implications. Nothing's in concrete, but that's the hearsay because it's a $2 billion stadium and $750 million of it was paid by the taxpayers in Nevada. And it's it's 3 times what everyone else's tax burden is for a stadium of all the other stadiums in the NFL, which is just insane.
Well, if you think about it, I'm sure this thing was planned out a long time ago, and then COVID happened, and COVID shut down Vegas for a long time, and they lost a lot of revenue. And you can kind of make the comparison to the parks here in Orlando. The only difference is that Disney also launched I mean, they were lucky as hell. They had pre-built it and were ready for the launch. Disney Plus, which made them an insane amount of revenue, which kept up. Were like, not that they needed to be kept afloat, but it basically
propped up their business for the foreseeable future.
But it made up for all the revenue lost for the loss of the parks revenue and stuff like that. Then. Mm-hmm. Florida came back faster because we had the reputation of being open, so more people just came here to visit.
Coming here.
Even during COVID, people were escaping wherever they are at and coming for vacations in Florida because we had that reputation. I don't think it was like that in Vegas. Like Vegas was pretty much closed down for the majority of time.
Most of my friends out there said exactly that.
And then I'm sure a lot of that was wrapped up in their tourism taxes. And then if you lose that, all of a sudden you have a huge deficit and you have this bill for a $2 billion stadium that's not being paid by the taxpayer. Yeah. And then I'm sure it's a big mess. And then the Raiders, based on their deal with the state or
the city or wherever,
they because we know a little bit about how this works from the MLS and stadiums.
It's a pain in the ass.
Orlando City privately funded their own stadium, but before that, like they were having to get. That's why they were pushing the vote to get it funded, and they decided ultimately to just privately fund it.
Yeah, it would have been easier to do it that way.
I think it's a little more than that because it's saying that. There's significant financial irregularities that are allegedly stretched back for more than a decade. So it's not just because of the pandemic.
So, like some mismanagement.
There's some income that was not claimed.
Maybe investment
for a lot of different people that work in the front office.
Oh, it looks like
even if you leave the company, you still can get in trouble for that.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to push itself out anytime soon, like of a clear-cut ending.
But maybe this wouldn't have, like nobody would have looked further into it if it wasn't for, because there is a lack of tax revenue that happened because of COVID in Vegas, because they have the same kind of tourism taxes in all their hotels and that we do, and they fund a lot of the city with that. And I'm sure when you start crunching the numbers and things get tight, they start looking and like, hey, where's all this money? And then they look into the Raiders organization, and what would have been never investigated, maybe more eyes are on it because the lack of money or something like that.
From what Sam's putting in the Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomandDan live, it looks like a $200 million loan that was never repaid is kind of making things look kind of bad.
This doesn't help the football operations.
No.
Because when
they had a fight too. They had a practice field fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that when the Raiders did. I saw Gruden was hot, and he sent them all to the buses. He's yelling at them all.
I wonder, it's so weird because you got this game that is just a game, right? And it's being played at the highest level and like billions of dollars made, right?
Yeah, big business.
And the coaches are in charge of just the game, most organizations have. Oh man, it's happening again.
No,
it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
He's doing it.
I don't know. I switched to water a long time ago. It's like,
bam.
You got to put some honey. That's what
you need. Grapes.
Get some ginseng and honey.
I told him to drink the hot tea.
Honey. You need some grapes. You need some throat
coat.
Maybe I need to shut up. Keep going, EJ.
Okay, well, we got to switch over to the nerd stuff because I'm done with. Oh, well, we didn't talk about the Dolphins playing the Falcons.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't need to talk about that. It's horrible.
It's
absolutely abysmal.
I didn't even.
know. I sent Samantha a trailer for a new movie that's coming out, which I'm super excited about because they've been putting off this trailer from being released for a very long time. They actually released it before my bit, which is usually not the case. Usually they wait till after I finish doing my segment, and then they release a trailer. And this week it's Spider-Man No Way Home, and it looks amazing.
All right, you want to see it? All right, here we go. This is Spider-Man No Way Home. Finding the trailer.
Who's playing Spider-Man nowadays?
Tom Holland.
I don't know.
Is it Tom Holland?
Okay, here we go. Here's Spider-Man. Oh, Doctor Strange.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
It's my girl.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
Can we just stay up here all day? It is so crazy down there.
That's right, folks. Spider-Man is in fact Peter Parker.
Listen, I did
Rough
not
like
kill
JJ.
Mysterio. The drones did.
The drones that are yours.
That's supposedly Matt Murdock on the right.
Okay, what do you think so far? Tobey Maguire's still my Spider-Man.
I mean,
Spider-Man died with
This
Tobey.
movie, they might have Tobey in this movie. It hasn't been revealed yet, but there was a lot of people that were. The end of the trailer will make you happy. I guarantee it.
It's long though. It's like 3 minutes.
It's long. It's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what? Forward to the very last, like 15 seconds of the trailer.
Okay.
I know it's an alternative universe, and this is not reality, and this is not like real life New York.
Oh, it's not.
But
what universe is
I thought
it?
this was a documentary.
Well,
No. I thought it was
legit
supposed to be like in our universe. No, like well, now that's blowing my mind. Now I don't want to see any of it.
Well, all I'm saying is the fact that, God damn it.
Spit it out, old man.
That's gonna make it worse. If you injure your vocal cords.
Gargle the water or something. My God.
Something's wrong.
You need a cough drop.
Notes, dude.
Lozenge.
Yeah, it may be some nodes
You
or
could.
something, because now I'm struggling. Like I'm pushing to
you
talk.
Don't push the talk.
Well, that's the only way I can talk now.
Don't beat me.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I mean,
Sign language. Learn sign language.
go to the doctor, maybe. Take care of yourself.
Go find out what's actually wrong with you instead of trying to guess.
I went to the doctor and I said, I think I got acid reflux. My throat burned. And he's like, take this pill. And I'm like, okay.
And you took it what? Yesterday, and that's it? That's the
No,
first
they
time?
were last week. Anyway, they're sitting on the top of a roof, and the girl is reading the newspaper, and Spider-Man is just a teen boy looking at the
Instead of
sky.
scrolling on her phone, yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
it's stupid. No one does this.
Outdated.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, here is the last 15 seconds that EJ wanted. I don't want to yuck on his yum. Here we go.
Be careful what you wish for, Parker. Hello, Peter.
And it's Alfred Molina from the original trilogy is in this movie.
What?
So
as, Dr. Octopus.
So it's old big fat octopus at the end with he's got the bowl haircut, but it's the Doc Ock.
It's the one from the Tobey Maguire universe.
Right. So
now they're mixing them up.
So he's the
They're mixing them
real.
up. They also have like Green Goblin in it, where they show the Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb in a scene right before that, and it's Willem Dafoe's laugh. So he's definitely
bomb.
in it as well.
So they're bringing back all the old bad guys, but we get
And de-aging him a little bit, because you see how Alfred Molina looks younger in that photo than he does now.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they de-aged him as well.
So let me ask, does Spider-Man now have the ability to instantly change into his Spider-Man suit? Like,
Yes, that's the Tony Stark
Yeah,
armor that he gave him.
remember
so
Tony-
he can quick change into it.
Tony Stark has a really weird infatuation with Spider-Man, and they hang
He's
out.
trying to hook up with Spider-Man's aunt.
No, they hang out a lot. All I
day.
see is a billionaire hanging out with a teen boy. I think it's weird.
so it changes from
Yeah,
his.
but so did Batman.
Weird.
Does it change from his disguise, his normal clothes, into the suit?
It goes over his clothes.
Yeah,
So
it goes
underneath
over his clothes.
the suit is his outfit.
Underneath the Spider-Man suit.
Yes, is
Okay.
like his jeans and his Converse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that take away the whole purpose of a disguise? When someone sees you change from
it.
your.
Well, remember they've already said that Peter Parker
They've
is Spider.
established they know who he is at the beginning of this movie, because that's what happened at the end of last
Right.
movie. Mysterio revealed his secret identity to everybody.
Remember that?
Okay.
And that's
no, I
the
don't.
whole point of this movie. He's trying to make everyone forget by using Doctor Strange to make everyone in the world forget. That's the part of the trailer you didn't see. Because Doctor Strange says, okay, we're going to make everyone forget. Even Aunt May, even Ned, even Mary Jane.
Not Ned.
So that he can go back to being.
Yeah, his life is not as complicated.
Hey, I think we got Sam finally. I think we hit the full trifecta of hating on all these movies.
No, I've been hated
It
on all these
started
movies. I
with
can't keep
Tom.
track of any of this crap.
Last week it went to me, and now it's jumped to you.
I've hated it from the beginning.
Yeah,
Day one.
I just think to me it would be more. I don't know. I don't even know how to solve this problem. There's a huge problem here, guys. It's got to be solved.
Well, let's talk about
The only
next thing
reason
I
I'd
was
watch
gonna
is
talk about.
Zendaya.
And I know Daniel already commented about this series. Cowboy Bebop's doing live action that's going to be on Netflix November 19th on Netflix.
I do enjoy Cowboy Bebop. I like that it's not your normal. I mean, it's animation, but it's not connected to anything Marvel, which is exciting to me because it's just going to be its own kind of a thing without me having to, navigate.
It's based off of like a 1998 anime.
Yeah.
It's like the year 2071. Earth went through some kind of Holocaust, and cowboys are like bounty hunters, and they work on a ship called the Bebop, and they go around trying to capture people for like some agency.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like this one to me, and it's kind of stylized and fun, and the voice work.
And there's a talking dog that's a Yorkie.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see Cowboy Bebop.
John Choi is playing the main character. He's from Harold and Kumar.
Are they on like a ship in the water or just like a land?
No, in outer space. They colonized the rest of the solar system, and like the other moons of Jupiter, they go to and
Galactic Bounty Hunter, wisecracking Galactic Bounty Hunter, cool dude, right?
Close to like Boba Fett. It's kind of like Mandalorian. I think your kids would like it.
He's a cool dude though too. He's got a cool voice and he talks cool.
I mean, not to like. If Mandalorian's the most famous galactic bounty hunter, isn't it kind of cheap doing another galactic bounty hunter style movie? Is they ripping off the idea?
It isn't, because Cowboy Bebop, in its own regard, I would weigh in as saying, was more important as it is in its universe than like it's hard to explain in what I'm trying to say, but Boba Fett to me is probably one of the most popular characters in the Star Wars universe, right?
Yeah.
But he was made to be a character in that universe, versus Cowboy Bebop is its own kind of a thing. Does that make sense?
Most of those guys are based off of old-timey Western bounty hunters, like the outlaw Josie Wales and stuff like that. When there was bounty hunters and Unforgiven, all this stuff is based off those already, so The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Cowboy Bebop is based off those as well. So saying it's not an original idea is not really
That's interesting.
Do you think Bounty Hunter is a popular character because
it's like the new zombie right now, man?
You could
hot right now.
Also, it allows you so you could also kind of be a villain,
anti-hero,
too. Anti-hero,
100%.
Yeah.
Yep, you don't always have to make the good choice. You always you just have to make
morals.
You just have to make the choice that you think is good within your own universe. The bounty hunter kind of by design is kind of selfish, right? And the only way that they're able to tug on your heartstrings in the actual movie or book that you're watching is to have that character flip where they do make the good choice, and then that in turn makes you give them value, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I love that in reality, real bounty hunters are trashy.
Yeah, they're fat, too. Real fat.
Fat and trashy.
Like Dog the Bounty Hunter is a fat red-brown.
He's not cool at all.
He's red-brown all over, fat, long hair. In fact, pull up the news story, Sam. I think
you would think they'd be a little cool, but they're not cool at all.
Baby Lisa,
in reality.
I think Baby Lisa just accused him of being in a cult. That just came out. Like that's breaking news right now. That's breaking news, people.
Oh, that Dog the Bounty Hunter's in a cult?
Yeah.
Like currently?
or somebody claimed that they have a cult-like mentality. Like it's something. There's all hell's a popping in Dogland now. Because right before we hit the air,
cult mentality.
Yeah, right before we hit the air, my alert system, because I only have 2 alerts for news. One is End of the World. The other's Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Lisa Chapman alleged that her sisters are being puppets of a disgruntled former business partners of her father's.
Yeah, see? They started their own Nexium cult, except it's long mullet wigs.
My sisters are putting out lies about our father. Do not listen. I'm like, okay.
It's a big mess.
It's good.
It's a mess.
Trashy mess.
Yeah, that's the thing about trashy people is they never change, so they'll pop back up eventually. You'll get to see them.
See, they've fantasized the bounty hunter job so much where it's like you're out there, you're on the fringe, but you're still doing kind of good because you're catching bad guys.
You have
that
a
are
badge on a chain around your neck that's meaningless that you have to buy.
And then in reality, it's like it's a crappy job that most of it is
can't have guns, can't have mace.
Like skip tracing trashy people while you're trashy smoking. Like
you spend a lot of time in parking lots, and then they're meeting you to turn themselves in the parking lot, right?
Yeah. And it's it's the bail bondsman industry. Like it's like a tow truck industry. It's a whole industry filled with unsavory characters.
I kind of feel it's calling, though. I got to tell you.
Oh, we should start T&D bail bonds.
That's what I want to do.
no.
T&D bail bonds.
Yeah. And then are we gonna hire? Who would we get as?
You commit the crime, we pay the dime.
Oh, we can hire Concrete Mike.
Yeah,
he'd be a
enforcer.
good like bounty hunter, right?
Yeah, he would be a good bounty hunter.
Because he's strong. He could also.
He's a good talker too. Like I think he de-escalated. He'd be like, "Hey man, look, I don't want to use my concrete hands to beat the s out of you, but I will. We got a couple of choices we can do here. You either get in the car, I'll give you the complimentary cigarette, and we make our way to the jail, or you're gonna get them hands."
Yeah. And he could blend in because you don't want someone like that looks like a cop. Like EJ, when he walks in, you're like, that guy is like he's
substitute teacher.
look,
You're
like, that guy's suspicious.
Hey, everybody, Mr. Jenkins is here. Pull his pants down.
All right, EJ, next story.
Okay, should we talk about Walking Dead or Jeopardy?
Let's go Jeopardy.
Thank you. F the Walking Dead. I hate it.
Walking Dead is final season. It's done. Okay.
Thank you.
Jeopardy. You heard about the whole thing with Mike Richards, who's the executive producer that was picked to be the new host, and then what happened with him?
I keep getting confused. Is it Michael Richards?
Michael Richards,
who was
Mike
Kramer,
Richards.
who said the N-word.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
I kind of want them to make Kramer the host.
I'd watch that.
It would be awesome.
And then the first category?
N-words.
Okay, come on. You're taking yourself too seriously. You got to do that.
It's ruined his career. It's only one joke, too. He walks out, he says, oh, my God, the whole network shuts down. Lawsuit crazy.
I had heard on some other podcast that this guy was in charge of also the search for the new host. Like, what?
Yes, he was the executive producer that was supposed to pick the new host.
Wait a minute. Is that the new host staring at me in the mirror?
Yeah. It seems kind of BS, right? If like someone put you in charge of finding the new host and then you just pick yourself.
But the best part of it, he did it while Joe Buck was doing his guest host segment. He like picked himself while Joe Buck was guest hosting, like he had an option to be the new host.
Well, I approve of picking anybody other than Joe Buck, but...
So was it because they were looking for a reason to get rid of him? Because it seems like, at least of the podcast interview stuff, I didn't hear it, so I don't know. But
we said derogatory things about Asians and women and like the earthquake in Haiti and stuff like that. Which, but to tell you the truth, I think it's all a scam. I think he did it on purpose to get more push to pick someone else other than himself.
Hold on. Well, didn't
he
pick...
ruined his career because he gets to still be the executive producer.
Well, why would he even pick himself to be host then?
Well, yeah.
Well, nobody knows who he is. So
EJ, you have the worst conspiracy theories I've ever heard. Like, I think he did it to himself after he picked himself.
So he get less money.
So he wants to ruin his career. I'm sure he wanted this,
Why
EJ.
does he keep his job as executive producer if he's the one that said this horrible stuff?
Yeah, but there's
you can host and be executive
producer.
producer.
How about you just be like, hey, someone else I don't want this.
I don't want it.
Yeah. Like you for sure, you're not going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to release these things I said about Asians to the media, so everybody attacks me relentlessly for months."
Well, wait a minute. Maybe EJ's right. What if this guy's a lot like you and he hates confrontation, and it's easier for him to release the Asians the comments than it is for him to walk in there and tell them that he doesn't want to do it. He hates confrontation, and he's afraid he's going to let them down.
No.
Isn't that always your thing? You're like, I'm afraid of disappointing them.
It seems like this guy was a D-head, and like a lot of people didn't like him, and when that happens...
There was also like some sexual harassment stuff too, right, from former employees? Did you look that up?
Yeah, we looked this up. Yeah. It was a bigger problem than my theory is that the things that were said on the podcast are easier to pinpoint than all of the horrible things he may have done in the office.
That's
I think the things that were done in the office are real, and I do think hostile work environment. I think that's all real stuff.
Hard to prove and pinpoint because it's he said, she said, or hearsay.
Yep.
And then the podcast, there's actually hard evidence, and you'd be like, look at this joke he said about Asians.
Horrible.
And then the company can use that as an excuse.
He nailed it.
Listen, I've worked for these giant companies before, and they'll keep people hired that do worse things than they eventually fire them for down the road.
They'll just handle it later.
Because if they're looking for a reason to fire you, then whatever comes across their desk, they'll be like, this is a perfect...
and they'll stash it.
Yeah.
It's called the Jay Gruden.
yeah.
Not to tie it back to sports, but that didn't. You guys didn't think that looked like that?
They had that.
Nobody thought that.
They had that video of him smoking a joint years ago, and then they released him and they put it out.
Yep.
Like this. Giant organizations do this, and they play PR, and they know.
You should see the file that Tom has on me.
Yeah,
It's disgusting. It's horrible. There's some stuff in there that's just horrible. It's horrifying.
I'm only saying this because it seems like it's all the other stuff rather than just the comments made on a podcast. Because if it's just some...
I think Sam's right. It's the work stuff.
Unless
and the
it's
sexual harassment stuff.
He said derogatory terms for little people as well as the R word, calling women fat. I mean, there's things about Jewish people. There's a lot of things that he said on this podcast that were problematic.
Yeah, but
Are you reading from Tom's file?
But, I mean, how did he say it?
I don't have the transcripts.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. They were looking for the excuse because the other thing's more important.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but how is he? But he still hasn't lost an executive producer job. He's still the executive producer.
Yeah, but he's not the face of Jeopardy.
Right.
The host.
And
yeah, because the stuff he did wasn't so bad that they have to fire him from the company. It's just they didn't want him to host Jeopardy, so they used this as
it would continue to be problematic. Better to pull him back. And then Mayim Bialik, right? There were people that were saying that apparently the chat room was saying that there were even negative things towards her about
her. Yeah.
She has said some anti-vax things in the past and sells fake brain pills.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. It's very gassy. It must be these brain pills I'm taking. I just started them.
It's going to be hard to find someone, especially nowadays, where social media has been out since when? 2006, 7? You know, like...
Just give it to LeVar Burton already.
LeVar Burton, yeah.
LeVar Burton would be fine. I had another idea that on the Jeopardy video game for Xbox, they use a voice actress to do all the questions, and they're updated like weekly, so they're like really relevant. They'll be like about Afghanistan. You know, it's updated constantly. So they must have this lady go in a vocal booth, and cut these tracks, you know, weekly or monthly or whatever, right? Why not just do it like that? I mean, I don't necessarily know if you're ever going to get a host that any of us will ever like more than Alex Trebek, right? That's what you're searching for, and that's why you're getting the backlash, is people are going to instantly compare. So you should just try to do it a little bit differently. I mean, why not how about the voice of Surrey and have it sponsored by a phone company or something? You know, have like, I mean, you don't need a host.
Have a Cortana?
Yeah, have a Cortana. You don't need a host, I don't think. The video game on Xbox works perfectly, just somebody pleasantly reading the questions. It's fine.
But is it because they're like relying on the audience too much to like vote in or talk about who they like the most, or social media?
Yeah,
I mean, they just need to
Alex
pick someone.
They were never worried about whether people would like Alex Trebek. They just picked him. You're right. They're him and Hall.
Yeah, they need to just make a decision.
They're so concerned about like, well, this guy's, you know, the sexual harassment guy, and this lady sells a crazy brain pill stuff. Like, the people are telling you LeVar Burton, so why not just give it a swing? You might as well try it.
Does he even want to do it?
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he would be great.
I wonder what the reason why they haven't.
Well, my first reason is because he's black.
You think that's
be.
it?
I mean,
could be.
He's been around in the industry for years.
I'm a
He's known
businessman.
for being educated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what other reason they wouldn't.
He reads professionally
he loves
for
Jeopardy.
a living. He reads professionally for a living.
He's taught kids to read.
He reads. His job is to read.
Yeah.
And he's awesome at it, and everybody loves LeVar Burton. I can't think of a reason why you're a businessman, I'm a businessman. Your Jeopardy stock's tanking because you've got controversy surrounding it now. Why not just let him eat cake? Why not pick the guy that everybody wants and just give it a go? Is it because he's black?
That would seem weird that usually entertainment industry is concerned about what's going to make the most money and what's the most entertaining.
But I think even everybody,
he would make the money.
Everybody else wants him too, so it doesn't make any sense why they're not.
Guess who would start watching Jeopardy again? I would. I'd watch it if LeVar Burton were on there. That'd be really good.
I watched the week LeVar did it.
Yeah.
Maybe tested poorly with the audience. You know, like maybe it's because America's racist and not necessarily the company.
Chigardi might have something here. Doesn't Jeopardy want the host to do no other jobs? That could be a holdup. And LeVar's got too many things going on.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, he's got one of the better of the reading podcasts that you can go where he finds independent writers, and then he actually will read their books. It's really cool. It's a great idea.
Next story, EJ.
No, we gotta go,
that's
bro.
all the stories.
That's it?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
overtime.
Oh,
God.
MyCon is this Saturday. It's at the Wyndham Resort, so definitely come. Wear your mask. We're gonna social distance, keep it safe. We're bringing lots of hand sanitizer, everything.
All right, brother.
All right.
Hey, good luck with it, and tell your wife we said hey, okay?
Thank you.
All right, man. Be good. That's
See you,
EJ
EJ.
with Nerdjack. We got to get out of here. Is that it, or
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
take a break at least?
Take a breaks.
Bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
We're going to jump into your email and your voicemail messages. Emails are very easy to leave us. Just fire up your computer, show@tomanddan.com. That's the easiest place to send us an email. And voicemails, we've got an app. You can send us one through a little button on our app called Mediocre Messages. Just hold it down, speak into your phone, and that sends as an email to us. And also, if you call 1-844-TOMNDAN, that's 1-844-Tom N. Dan. You can leave a voicemail message that way. Let's jump into emails first. Sam, what do you got?
All right. I start my morning every day listening to Real Radio until Real laughs at the end of the day. I am also a BDM/Twitch subscriber and listen to all of your shows apart from Real Radio. Today I have to work at Advent at 5 a.m. and normally my shift starts between 6:30 and 7 a.m. Because of that, I've never listened to the radio before 6 a.m., so I had no idea that you guys played before the Monsters in the Morning. I laughed out loud once I realized why that's a thing, and I just wanted to say good on you, dude. If it was me, I'd definitely do the same thing. It made me laugh. Anyways, love y'all. Happy Monday, and have a fantastic week. I don't think you guys get to pick. That's just kind of when you guys are thrown for the
Honestly,
replay or whatever.
I forget that we're on there in the mornings.
It's been like that since we started
while.
ACT.
Yeah.
And
Indeed.
since we started 5 days a week, I believe.
Right.
Or maybe did we have that on Wednesday?
I think they used to replay you guys on Saturday mornings when you did just the Wednesday, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then once you went 5 days a week, then they started replaying it in the mornings.
Man, I
during
don't
the
know
week.
anymore. I don't know any of this stuff anymore.
How long have we been the night show on Real Radio?
Long time.
Don't know.
It must have been since. Well, we started Wednesdays back in
Like 2012, 2013?
2013, I believe, because it was like 6 months after I left. And so 2013, so it's been 8 years. And so at least 7 years, Monday through Friday.
That's crazy.
Right?
Thousands of shows, though. It's funny how quickly.
Are we the longest running nighttime radio show on Real Radio?
How long was SBK there in that spot?
Not for 7 years.
I don't know.
It wasn't for 7 years. I know that.
Yeah.
What about Drew?
Oh, no. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
What about Garabo? He was there for a while.
I don't think 7 years though.
I don't. Maybe not 7 years.
Because he left nights, and then the Hideout came in, and like I'm trying to think of.
That would have been like
Well,
2004?
I know we beat the Hideout.
Five?
I know we beat the Hideout as far as length of time.
So he was doing nights.
When did he start? If he had left in 2004, 2005, when did Garabo start?
Well, it had to have been in the early 2000s because it wasn't 99. Because 99.
There's a
when's Daniel on Drew Garabo? 2000?
Yeah.
Or
No,
99?
no. Would have been
You were in the
before.
Monsters.
That's what I was gonna
You
say.
were in
In
Monsters in
90s.
99.
I was Drew in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. He was there for a while.
Yeah.
From 90.
I want to say he might have been there 10 years. but I
There's a
could be wrong.
page. There's a page that has it all listed that I can find. Some radio nut job has like some radio page that has everything listed and all the dates of which shows and how long they were there. And
Yeah, because I think it was 2000.
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Second longest running show.
We should
We'll
start.
never make it 11.
Do you want to brand ourselves that the second longest? Yeah, we should start.
Until we surpass the 11
Yeah.
years.
I don't even know if that's true. Also, don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I started writing imaging this morning. It was so hard. I was like, don't care. I was like just telling people about our TikTok and our Instagram and all this. Because I never do. It's just Tom and Dan Live. Everything is basically Tom and Dan Live. But I should be better about that. It's just I'd rather talk to you guys than tell you to go watch TikToks or what. I don't know.
You got to just put it out there. Like it's everybody's just throwing up garbage on the internet. And then it's like,
I don't like the way it
none of
feels. I
matters.
don't like just throwing up garbage, man.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
a throwing up garbage kind of guy.
You know what I screwed up a long time ago, and then now I can't get it out of my head, where my Instagram, I started curating it and just like putting up pictures of family vacations and things like that.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like it's a snapshot of my life that I'll look back
And you don't want to ruin it by putting a video of Mike Busey's girlfriend riding the shark.
Yeah, I just don't like it now. Something's blocking me from just putting nonsense, which I need to do, and I think that's what Instagram stories are for, which I've never even done one time. I don't even know how to do.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, does it even matter? What if I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it. It's
Put
not
out as much content as you can.
It's like I get tired
helps.
of documenting things.
Yeah.
I just want to live. Like I get tired of I get tired of taking photos. I get tired of taking videos. I get tired of talking to this microphone. I get tired of editing. I get tired of editing video.
I do a lot already.
But I'm just like, I don't care. Like when I get home, like I'll see something funny or Maisie will do something funny. I'll be like, oh, come here, let's do a video. And I'm just like, and then I'll do it. And then I'll be like, this is stupid. I should be spending time with my family. I should be doing this. I should be doing a video for what? So people I don't even know can give me love? It's not even real love.
Now, if you look at it the another way, and I'm just being devil's advocate, and you're like, well, I'm doing it so I can remember the times, so I can go back and
I support that.
And then it's like, but you don't need to publish that. You already took the video.
Yeah,
it's
you
there.
just leave it on your phone.
Right.
But it's not. The social media is kind of a curated thing where you probably only put up the best, so you can go back.
You wanted the best?
Well, it's like, if you go back and look at your phone,
don't look at my history.
Your picture history or stuff. A lot of it's just
Pornhub,
garbage.
X videos, Pornhub,
You don't go
X
through it
videos.
and like delete stuff after a few months, like delete pictures and videos.
I don't.
Okay.
If I have doubles on there and
Wow.
stuff, like I don't do anything. I've got pictures of my ding dong on there. I've got pictures of everything on there. Not sexy ones. More of them are like, look at this
Medical,
wart.
yeah,
medical photos.
I believe I have an insane-o amount of pictures.
Who's got the most pictures on their
I
phone?
don't know that I've ever seen you take a picture with your phone.
He doesn't know how to.
Well, I've never deleted it. I don't even know how to see how many pictures I have.
All right, I'm going in.
How do you even know?
Well, you go to photos.
Yeah.
And then when you click it, you see where it says albums.
Yeah.
And it says recent, and that's how many photos you have.
Okay, hold on. Oh, you have the photos part. I don't even know where photos is.
Wait a minute, you don't know where photos
I
is?
go to the camera.
I don't know.
Go to gallery.
I don't know where them photos is.
Oh, there it is.
Go to albums.
Okay.
And then see recents.
I only have 1,172.
Oh, man, I got you beat. But I got a kid.
But I also go, like I said, I go through and I delete stuff.
Yeah, I don't. Do you want to know how many I got?
Yes.
I've got 13,659 photos.
Wow.
That's bananas.
13,659 photos. How many videos do you have?
Videos?
Yeah.
Recent. There it is. I got 15,000.
Whoa, you beat me, top dog.
110.
Plant Daddy. You beat me, Plant Daddy.
But I've never. This is from multiple phones.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've got all mine from multiple phones from the cloud, all on my phone.
You probably have more videos.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why your phone breaks so much.
Yeah, no. It's I mean, Daniel, my computer. I'm horrible.
I have 1,468 videos.
Holy smokes, you guys!
Does that take up memory?
Oh yeah.
Especially the videos.
But aren't they a lot of them on the cloud?
I mean, they should be. You should be okay now. Because if you get that thing linked to the cloud, your videos will stay in there like my wife's. They'll just stay in the cloud, and then when she wants them, she'll tap them, and they'll download, then they play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does it with mine, too.
Yeah, then you're good.
Okay.
You should be good to go. God, it actually sounds like he dialed it like when he fixed his phone or had his freak out a couple months ago, whatever. It sounded like he did it right.
It'll happen again.
Well, now he's having a voice freak though. The voice freak thing is freaking me out because I've dealt with this. I've been scoped. I've been sprayed. I've ruptured a vocal cord. It's not good. And the only way to fix it, you can't power through that. It's not like one of those things where you can force through it. It's like you have to be quiet. You have to.
Yeah, you got to
You'll
stop
be carrying
having your
around a
little outbursts
chalkboard
over there.
You'll have a little chalkboard. You'll be writing to their boys. You'll be writing to your wife.
Well, we can't do that. We got this business to
We
run.
just have to take time off.
No time off.
We'd have to take I had to go 3 weeks.
Give me the injection. I'm like the football player. Just like shoot my knees up.
Like
whatever.
Dan Hampton from the Chicago Bears. Just put the what was it? They'd get those cortisone shots in their knees, and then they'd get so many of them that it would form crystals in their knees, which were more painful than the actual pain they had to deal with in the first place.
Give me the cortisone right in the neck.
My dad used to do that. He's like, my knee's not working. I can barely walk. And then they'd shoot it, and he'd be like, let's play softball, mother apples. He'd go out there, church softball.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some injections or steroids and some other stuff that I could do.
Oh, steroids, you'll poof up real fat. Like I get a real fat face. Every time I take steroids, I get a big fat red face. Big fat red face.
That's got a big old
I'm
Rogan.
like, wait a minute. I thought roids were supposed to make you jack.
They give you a big red Rogan.
Gross.
Hey, Red Rogan, sham-a-lam. Hey, Red Rogan, sham-a-lam, sham-a-lam, Red Rogan, sham-a-lam.
Just give me the big red Rogan.
Why is that so funny? Oh, man. Red Rogan. Send Hogan right over. Okay, brother. We're getting goofy. We've been recording too much. Next email.
My voice is better.
Hey, y'all. Not that it probably matters, but I listened to you guys talk about school's early release and wanted to share my experience. I teach in Central Florida now and have early release on Friday.
Hold on, Tom's pissing off the teachers again.
And
I just asked why not do it on Friday? It seems better. And then I found out
everybody but the teacher.
Well, some schools do it,
but it's still bad.
I teach in Central Florida now and have early release on Friday and have previously had it on Wednesday in South Florida. Friday is way better.
Oh.
I've never really had any sort of mandatory meeting other than the occasional faculty meeting. It's my time to take care of some paperwork or catch up with some friends. It's Friday, everyone's in a good mood, the classes go by fast, in the last couple of hours I can do whatever I need/want to.
There you go.
So,
I was wrong. See, it's
you need to go
science.
to the school board meetings and start demanding that it's on Friday.
Take
then.
this email with you as proof and say, I run a local podcast and I have email proof.
Well, it just makes logical sense that you'd want it on Friday, you know?
Not to me. I disagree.
Not me.
To me, it doesn't make sense. And my argument for that would be that most of the time on Friday, well, like if you're really wanting to get a lot of stuff done, I never get a lot of stuff done on Friday. I don't think anybody does. So your productivity is going to be in the dumper. So I'd rather do it on another day. Plus, it's
a job. Who wants to really get stuff done?
Well, I'm just saying if you...
I'm working on my lunch break in there.
Well, as an
I'm going to stop doing that.
Well, we have easy ass. We were 5 hours a day.
We do. It's not that bad.
But yeah.
I wouldn't want it on a Friday, though, because if it got out of control, and this is just my take, I'm just saying if it got out of control or the job that I was working on got too big, I wouldn't want to be on the hook on the day leading into my weekend. That was my only argument, was it didn't make any sense to me because... You know, especially if they're mandating that we stay there or something like that, I wouldn't want it to be on a Friday. I'd want the ability to dip out on a Friday like everybody else does.
It just seems way better.
But she's saying I'm wrong. She's saying that it actually, or he's saying I'm wrong, that he liked it better.
I mean, if any teachers are listening, weigh in, because I can't find out or even think of one reason why you'd rather have it on a Wednesday than a Friday.
The only thing I could think of is like to break up the monotony of the work week. You might want to have leave early on the Wednesday.
Yeah, but then you might as well start your weekend early.
Now, I understand, but then also everybody else leaves early on Fridays.
Well, no, what I'm saying
and then
is
you got more traffic.
Maybe you guys aren't understanding me. I'm under the assumption that if you're having it on a Friday, you are not starting your weekend early. This is meant for you to stay there until the time you leave.
Supposed to be, yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm arguing against it. Because I'm saying everybody else, of course, parents on Friday, it would be great on a Friday because then we get out early.
Parents and kids, yes.
We start our weekends early. But I'm saying that for teachers, they're not going to be doing that. It's like having a staff meeting. If you had your choice, you were saying around here, like, hey, let's have a staff meeting.
Yes,
we have
I
our
agree.
choices. We can either have it Monday afternoons or we can have it Friday afternoons. Which one do you guys want? I would never say Friday afternoons.
Yeah, same.
It doesn't make any logical sense to impede my weekend moving forward or anyone's weekend moving forward. Put it on a Monday. That's just my argument.
I'm with you.
But if you have to, at least you have the opportunity to dip out or F off right before the weekend.
If you wanted to do it and could, yes, and then I would agree with that.
Yeah, because if you had to actually be in class and teach kids, like now on Friday, you teach your class up until the bell rings at the last hour,
right.
And then if
I agree with.
If it was an hour early, sometimes you'd have to stay, but a lot of you work for the government. You're not doing nothing.
Well, I hope she's doing something because
after
she's
teaching your
my
children,
daughter.
I hope they do something.
Come on. It's a hard job, but it's like every job. You F off. You don't really take it that serious.
That's terrible.
I'm serious.
Not on Friday.
Who takes their job that serious? What teacher's like, nope, I will diligently teach every student until I die. They don't care. No one cares.
Oh, my mom was pretty much that lady, though.
Well, that's old school.
I know.
Now I'm saying nowadays, no one gives a damn about any job.
You're going to offend a lot of teachers, buddy.
Well, I mean, we'll take
how
the
much do you
emails and
care?
we'll dig through them. It's fine. We need content.
unless you care about your job. I'm just saying most people don't care about their jobs they work in, right?
Most people don't.
I would contend if you're a teacher, you probably care more about your job than most people because you're getting paid crap to
And you're
do
still
a
doing
really
it.
hard job.
Yeah, it's a really hard job. Next email. That's a good one.
Oh no, I pulled a Tom. Hi Tom, Dan, Sam, and Butler. One of my favorite ongoing sagas from back in the day was when Tom's neighbor thought his name was Paul and Tom was too uncomfortable to correct her. I don't actually recall how that ever got resolved, by the way.
She died.
That's true. I am ashamed to admit that I might have effed up similarly last night.
Did we ever find out, Mr. Van, whether or not you never made peace with her, right? You just kind of let that one lie, right? The Paul.
Well, so Crystal told her one day before she died.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So
You're right.
then I screamed to just let her go to the grave with that.
Yeah.
That would have been better for everybody.
You know
now
what?
she just thinks I'm crazy.
You know what? Crystal should have never done that.
I know.
I support you again. I apologize if I took a different take.
Well, because she was honest, because the lady was like, "Is his name really Paul or Tom?" And she's like, "It's Tom." Like, I mean, it's like, no, you just stick with it. Paul is Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
I mean, how much? You only got to wait it out, not that much.
Because it seems like less than a year, and then that was it. That's very sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I was at a cake baking class and left the walnuts out of my cake because I'm not that into them. Somehow, the lady teaching the class misunderstood and thought I was allergic and made a big thing out of it. At that point, I felt so awkward, I didn't want to tell her that I just didn't want garbage walnuts. So for the rest of the night, I didn't get to eat any of the baked goods the teacher made because they had nuts in them. I planned
because he wouldn't speak up and
say no, I just don't like them.
Oh, God, you guys, man, what the hell?
I plan on going. It's a lady. It's a lady.
I like this lady.
I plan on going back to this place a lot, so now I don't know what to do. Do I keep pretending I have a nut allergy? How do I explain this now? They're going to think I'm crazy because I've let this go on for so long. Thanks for the advice, Ashley, a.k.a. Lady Bells on Twitch.
Hey, Lady
She was
Bells.
just in here. I don't know if she still is.
Hey, thank you for the email. Thank you for listening. Cooking classes, those are weird, right? You ever taken one?
I don't, but now I get like the every plates all the time, so I feel like I'm taking cooking classes every weekend.
No,
I'm learning new stuff every
You know the
week.
ones you go to where they got the old lady in the front?
Yeah,
and
never
you're,
done
and
that.
you're there with your wife. It's like a couple's. You've gone with some couples, and there's wine. There's a bunch of little wooden plaques everywhere that say things like, I just need wine and all the cats.
Yeah.
And they got that kind of stuff everywhere. And then you learn how to make some, you're making like a curry. You're whipping up a curry.
My advice to this lady is you keep spinning more webs of lies, right?
As large as
But
you
then
can
she's
make
not going to
it.
get to eat anything.
No,
there.
well, no, you spin a web of lies now.
It's good for your health to not go there and eat all the baked goods.
You go in there and you say, I went to South America and I did this experimental allergy treatment
Ayahuasca.
with nuts.
Yes, no, I like this.
And
I
then,
like this.
And they don't offer it in the United States because the FDA, you know them,
can't
just
trust
approve
those guys.
Pfizer. Then you throw that in because that'll keep them.
Right.
You scream Pfizer at them, and then they're like, "Oh, don't ask them too many questions." And then you say you got your allergy fixed in South America,
and then they'll give you a baked good and say and then take a bite, and then as you're walking back to your station, fall to the ground. And lay there.
Yeah. Then
and don't move. And then go, I'm just tired.
Then scream Bolivia. But here's the problem with this. Then the teacher will come to you and be like, my nephew has a horrible peanut allergy, and the only way to save his life is your experiment.
Can you take him to see your shaman?
Then you're flying to Bolivia.
With a young boy.
Commando style with a pin helmet.
Never fly Commando with a young boy.
No.
Are you
Commando
crazy?
the movie.
You always wear panties.
Still haven't watched that. It's on my list, though.
That is a rule in my household. If you're ever transporting a young boy or girl to Bolivia, you always wear underwear.
You could just never go back there, right?
To Bolivia? No. Oh.
Like
I would just say that, I don't know, you must have misunderstood. I'm not a fan of walnuts.
I don't understand why that's such a big deal to this woman and to you. I don't understand why anything like that.
You can't tell them the truth. Never tell the truth.
I don't understand. I also think that there's an ego thing involved in here because, something that makes me, drives me up the wall that you say, that I have to look at the ceiling right now. I can't even look at you when I say this because when you say things like you'll say I don't want to hurt their feelings. I mean, that to me that's like You think so much of yourself that you think that you're going to hurt their feelings? Like, oh, Mr. Tom, the greatest human they've ever met, just you're going to, by saying no to the vacuum cleaner lady at your door, that it's going to crush her and that's going to be the breaking point that sends her on her way into madness?
No, I feel why that makes you crazy, but it's not because I think I rationally know that they don't give a damn, that as soon as they walk to the next house, they're going to forget I even existed.
Right.
They don't care.
But it hurts you, that anxiety. I can feel it. I can see it.
It bothers me disappointing people or hurting their feelings or like,
but it's
being
so
rude
surface.
to them.
It's not that deep.
Yeah. I know. Well, that's why it's bizarre. Like I'm not
illogical.
I'm not saying that this is a way to live your life or it's right. This is
He's just saying it's a thing.
It's a crazy weirdo thing that I do, just like a lot of people do weirdo
crazy
things.
Mixed up world. It's a doggy-dog world.
I don't have the capability to push past that block.
Have you ever tried?
I mean,
not very often, I bet, right?
I exaggerate. Most of the times I just avoid the situation.
Yeah, I would too.
just avoid it. And which is bad, and you should just face it, and maybe you'll get better at it. But it's easier just to never answer the door than to tell
That's what I do.
the person, like, no, thank you. Anyway, I'm telling you why I'm crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
no,
telling you,
I-
like, people should act like me.
No, it makes
This is
sense.
insane.
We all have our crazy.
Yeah, we
This
all
is
have it.
insane.
I'm not picking on you for it. I want to know what it feels like. It's got to feel very similar to me getting on a plane or something, right?
No, because I'm not. I don't get anxiety about it. I don't think I would avoid telling. I don't care about myself. Like if they just give me the wrong food, I'll just eat it.
Would there ever be a form of it where you would be forced to face it? I'm trying to think of a scenario where you would have to.
We've had to fire someone before. We had to do awkward things. I mean, I had to go in and tell business things. Like
you actually do a great job though when you do it, which is probably good that you don't like doing it.
But that's for business. I won't do it for myself. If the only advantage is to make myself feel better or to save myself time, I won't do it. See, if it's for anybody else, for you guys, for my family, the business, I'll force myself to do it.
You'll do it.
But if it's just for me,
no need.
I don't care about myself.
That's crazy. Yeah, we all got it. Bye-bye.